What a beautiful music here this evening. Wow. What a beautiful music here. I'm Alfonso Zienso of the Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Good evening to welcome. This is all things considered right here on the diaspora. Informative news outlet. Welcome to the show. All our viewers, listeners, right across the globe. Now this boss is Mr. Chester Dole. Good evening, Clarence David. You know, we are good friends, but you have got yourself drowned in the world of Cecil Boyle, Jerry Bacon, the liberal progressive. So I'm trying to draw the fine line here, but still, Clarence, you my guy. I was still hanging there. I will work out. Ascar, good evening. To Romeo, good evening. Thank you so much, David, and all of our great friends here. Sister, you can give me whatever hand clap. There is a fine line with us moving forward. I know what you represent. I know who you are. I know the political Minnesota politicians' way of doing things and that of the Liberian LPP way. So I know who you are. Mr. Moses, same way. I hope Moses, you could just tap in here with some of these information coming to give us also the security perspective. If you have the chance, we want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you so much for sharing your evening with us. As usual, this is the Diaspora Informative News Outlet, Liberia Public Radio and Lpr-Tv. Here, we battle against quantity and quality. We do not incite ourselves into the story to give a fair, balanced, and proportionate conversations. All of the analysts and even callers, they are allowed to speak their will and mind about the country. That's the difference. That's what is a little different from us. And then that of Dent, I am not calling name. I said that's a distinction with us and Dent. You figure out exactly what I'm talking about. Welcome to the show. I'm Alfonso Z, and so this is your informative news magazine, All Things Considered. Good to have you here this evening, and let's get the ball rolling to right here to right now with 9 minutes. I've told the time of 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here from the New England Bureau Desk. Welcome to the show. Welcome, taking you to inside Liberia. That's the beauty of Liberia. And this is what we do here. We showcase some of the good attitude versus the gospel artist based right here in the diaspora in Des Moines, Iowa. One thing I've noticed, since after the war, the Crown people, their thinking is different. You don't hear too much of how again. They have modified their tone. I'm trying to get in plenty of people's skin here this evening. Welcome to the show. This is Minnesota Alice Young, based in Des Moines, Iowa. If you listen to, there's a message contained in this song. When the Crown says senior, it's like he's just above, and that's God he's making reference to. When the going gets tough and the tough gets going, he is the one that can rescue you. Without him, we can't just do it by ourselves. And she's quite correct. We're going to bring her here as well. It's a new song on the block, and that's what we do here to also, not just on the politician. What do we get out of this politician? All about headache. Karen Davis will come here, Sissy Goya will come here, Jerry Bakan will come here, and all about political correctness. But when you depend on the Most High, He is the most dependable one. Thank you so much, Minister Alice Newman. We're going to be bringing you right here on this network, and we're going to have a conversation. Our understanding there's a big rally in the making, and she also participates in events. You can invite her. This is what we need to do. We need to, every sector of our society needs to be brought into the spotlight. And that's what we're doing. The analysts are assembling backstage. It's all things considered. Welcome to the show. Good evening to our many viewers, listeners across the globe. Thank you for sharing your Wednesday with us right here. As usual, without you, we cannot just do it. So it is very much important that we acknowledge your presence here. Despite our different political divides, your tolerance, your political maturity exhibited on this network in terms of the interaction with your peers and other onliners, and even the civil manner in which you disagree with some of our talking point here. We come here, we talk some ridiculous thing here, especially from the guy like the liberal progressive and his guy Jared. Now, Sissy is added over here. They are all now, they are doing everything possible to liberalize this network and telling us we are not the right guy. We have to take this network, Liberia Public. You ever heard me saying anybody calling here say, oh, I get Chinese phone, my battery want to die, and this person is talking this and that? In fact, by never. Something to liberal to Jerry Boishin background. Sister Goya is almost literally part of that wagon here. It is Dr. Jones and myself. The 1%er guy, he's unbalanced too. One day he will you, the next day he on the other side here. So we keeping close eyes on him. Koto Jalabala Yangon. Kato is gradually coming in our way. Dr. Toto is on the endless leave of absence. So we simply suggest perhaps the liberal progressive Jerry Bacon and Sister Goya are having conversation. So I wouldn't be surprised when he surfaces here, he will also move their wing. But Dr. Myla Jones, myself, and I was Keto, the Wiashin guy, for which they label us as one of those, but he has seen the daylight, so conversions is taking place, redemption is taking place. This is what these guys, these other gentlemen, do not want to see on this network. So everything we try to do to reconstruct the case and try to pin us as the bad guys. But you know, and I know, honestly, we stand up for you. Welcome to the show. It's 16. Let me bring in my man, Mr. Gerald Bacon. He's our security analyst. Is here. A lot is happening during the week. They're going to have their talking point from our top government officials being called in as persons of interest. What it all means in the security world when you are identified as by investigators as persons of interest. Now people are spinning and running with it as if these people are being convicted. That's not how I see it. But what could possibly be the reason why these folks were called in as persons of interest? What do the investigators or they maybe DA have in their cluster for which those people were paid? But the conversations is very depending who you talk to, why there is a timeline, why there's a cut period in terms of investigations of other murder cases that have been happening, how that came into place. So others on the other side of the eye say, yeah, I so much harm. But what do you say? Crime, there's no small crime, there is no big crimes. But one person who's going to put it into context for us, he is also a former police officer to be involved in multitudes of major investigations. But let's see what a politics is going to factor in this evening. I'm waiting to see. What are you going to put professionalism first and put the partisan cap behind him here? Let's watch and see. Let me go right here within my own proximity, bringing Mr. Jerry Bacon watching. One time, a remnant of CDC turned to UP, now supporting President Jose Newman Boyka. He did a lot of stuff here. I don't know why he didn't want to go to. I didn't want to call him then, man, or we can go. At least when I come in, he can easily pick me up. We drink some nice cold beer. Let me bring in Mr. Jerry Bacon. He's right here. Mr. Jerry Bacon is a security analyst of the Liberia Public Radio right here in the Ocean State, also from presidents of the law enforcement community here in the USA. So he's been, don't mind him. He's a big potato. But the politics has kind of like drawn him, and so he's in a different world. But I'm not going to run a judgment here this evening. Who knows whether there's going to be a redemption here? I'm going to see different type of Jerry Bacon here this evening. Mr. Bacon, good evening. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the show.
Good evening. How you doing?
Good to have you here. Today is Wednesday, all things considered. Okay, we were going to come to your own talking point here. Let's do a little bit house cleaning. Today is what, 24th? In 2 days, we will be Liberia. We observe our independence anniversary, correct?
Yes. Yeah, excuse me. Yeah, how you doing? I'm doing okay. Yeah, we look forward to for Friday.
Okay, Friday.
Let's see, Tango is Friday too. It will be Tango for Friday.
This is not a provocation, but I just try to figure out what is going on. What usually happens like this on major days, independence days, in the security world? What do they do in terms of preparations, be on LA? What are some of the preparations from the security corridor now you think going on in Liberia?
Well, first of all, the joint security will have a joint meeting prior 1 week or maybe 2 weeks to the occasion. There'll be a lot of joint security meetings to strategize what's going to happen. All depending how many VIP coming to the country, their arrival, their safeties, and everything. These are preparation you make, and you rehearse. If this happen, what's going to happen? You rehearse. This going to happen. Give different scenario. And
there seems to be a lot of contingency plan in terms of if this and that, what would be the repercussions? What would be the reactions? It seems to be events, these are major events, independence, inaugurations. It happens to stress the government resources, correct?
Oh yeah, it's because demand time, a lot of resources, a lot of capital involved, because people will be working overtime, sleepless night, sleepless time efforts, time consuming, and everything. But I mean, day-to-day operation is you always have something, but when the major days are coming, you always prepare for the unknown. That's why you always anticipate. The one that you know it, but the one that you don't know, that's the important thing that you always anticipate.
When a security man says unknown, what specifically, what are some of those? My unknown in my side of the world is quite different when you, as a person with a security background, when security man say unknown, what it means.
Unknown is like a lot of implication. You don't know what other people are planning, what they have in mind, who is the subject matter. Maybe there are other people who you already have on your radar, that you already have some targets, and there's other people who you do not know about that in the reservoir or in the pipeline. So these are the people that you anticipate, but those are you already know. You keep your eye on them, and those are you don't really know about them. So these are the people who worry unknown. These are the unknown subjects.
I'm contemplating of turning my phone or maybe suspend myself from Facebook for until after Friday, because my 26th on you, my flare day on you, my December 25th. It's crazy. Are you receiving those sort of calls?
Oh yeah.
After 26th, I flare day. After flare day, there's a lot of treatment birthday.
You know what? I'll look at it from a different perspective. I had the privilege to be here, and a child from B and Doru to be here. It's a gift. I mean, it's a blessing. For me, I always ask a question though. People ask me, "Oh, they call too much," but let's be realistic here. Maybe I'm based upon my religion background or whatever, but.
So I am from the Satan war now. Now you are about to start this conversation to get on a rocky road. Religion.
Listen, let me learn. No, you always anticipating what I'm going to say.
The audience, I am from the Lucifer war, correct? That's what I know.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I say maybe from a background, from a religious perspective. That's what I said. But I'm not saying say you are Lucifer. I'm not in the position. In fact, the God I worship, my living God, never tell people say they are devil or something like that. But yeah, what I'm saying, we are blessed.
So you're from Never Die Church. So why will you be worshiping God?
No. I'm a Catholic. I'm a Catholic person. I believe in God. I'm a Catholic. My church is right behind the old Babia school there, on the old road there, Church of Christ. That's my church I've been to before I came to this. And my church is right here on Central Avenue, Pawtucket, and Newport Avenue and Pawtucket intersection.
By the time they do that, that they married during one.
But yes, what I want to say. Yeah, what I want to encourage our Liberian people. Yeah, what I want to encourage our Liberian people, which have never been addressed. We are very fortunate to be here. There are people whose true side us were killed during the war.
Right.
Sometimes you say I'm lucky, but there's a reason why God brought you here. That you are the future of the nation. And there are people who suffered during the war, and God brought you here for a reason. Maybe you're more your family people, your brothers and sisters. All of y'all go to the embassy, but probably you would be the only one person that would get a visa.
Let me just interrupt you a little bit. Sissy Goya is here. Let me just bring him in here to this conversation. Hey, here we go.
But yeah, in fact, I called you today. I have something to discuss with you. I'm very sensitive. I wanted to discuss it with you before we came on the air, but you never returned my call, so that's fine. You say you're going to come after my wife's birthday. You never showed up. In fact, you still going to pay for the food because you cooked all the food yesterday or Sunday. You never showed up.
And the food in the fridge. Yeah.
No, my current one. There was no electricity, so
no, that's not true. How will I get current and you say
But Jerry, you had to learn. The man put in a chat group that he can't stand you, he block your number, everything. You didn't see that post.
Thank you.
But the man said he block your number, then you still calling, you still trying to call it, the man was your number.
But that's all right. I'm a Christian, I don't keep mileage. But here's the thing. Yesterday they blocked me. I text him, he said, I text him, I can forward the text message. I can put in the chat room. If I in the chat room,
you see, the choir we said, the song I was playing here. The song I was playing.
Exactly, that's what happened. 2 days. 2 days.
You know who did that to you? You know the days that I come on. By the time I see you, it says here, you're Catholic too or Buddhist.
I graduated Catholic school, but I have been Lutheran, I have been Baptist, I've been Catholic. Now I'm non-denominational, and I'm trying to lean back into going back to African traditional beliefs.
Okay, let me lay hand on you right now and pray for you. Because you're still looking for your salvation. No, on a serious note, Mr. Barker, you know what I am. That's your liberal, but you don't listen. I introduced the liberal to you, but unfortunately, for some reason, this guy, when we get off, you're in conversation. When he on, he doesn't want you around. But anyway, you see it. I was on. It was the liberal, and I told you, I sent an honest message. The liberal saw you backstage, but guess what? You say, I'm not bringing that man on. The man say you go into your house today, a birthday. You not call me, say I'm not going there. And you see, I just telling you. I'm not saying you should tell him, but I'm just telling you. Okay, let's get to the program. Honestly, I had a crazy weekend. I was in Massachusetts, and there was an honoring program, and yeah, sometimes it can be hectic, but it was not a purpose. I will still come over, trust me. And there's a one coming again this weekend, so it's crazy. But you have fridge. There's no current. We can keep food for over 1 week. So that I just started. So there's no way that you can tell me. Sissy is another instigator. He telling me that I block your number, and you believe in him. So it is strongest
That's something to instigate. You put in the chat room, the message right in the chat room. Or let you block them in the chat room again. That other chat room, you put it in.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Amen.
Okay. Let me bring the bishop in. The bishop, the one with the case here. The bishop said now he not tend to be politician, so I don't even know what.
We got Bishop Wonder, we got Pastor Talk. We also have Bishop Wonder, Pastor Talk. So what are you talking about?
When the bishop ready to get political,
you better watch your world.
When you ready to get political analysis, said he can't. The one he can't even do to the scripture that that's what on you get.
Don't do that. I did it with one pastor at a time. Right now, I stay with this from my Goa. And I'm going to pick more flour or more metal God. So I'm not picking flour on Bishop calling on the me and the Goa. But they can be done with the piece. One metal God. Don't put me in Pastor Colin more.
Okay, Mr. Terry Collins is our senior political analyst based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Mr. Collins, good evening. Welcome.
Yeah, good evening to the panel. I saw Mr. Bacon crying yesterday, but you know, I was surprised. But anyway, that way.
Now I'm going to see your religion to test. Mr. Collins, did you see me online yesterday?
No, I didn't see you.
But you're looking for the
Wait. Since I want to start a conversation, wait, we gotta get it still going. Yeah, Mr. Bacon, we have the most religious guy on this network, even though sometimes who was in charge yesterday?
Oh, the last time I checked, I thought it was liberal. I don't know.
You see, you want spot in now. What my last time? What are you talking about? So,
but the last time I checked, which was yesterday, was liberal. That was it. The last time I checked.
So it was his own man were on, right?
I didn't see it. I didn't see it, man. But
Terry, don't do that.
But why you want to your pepper in Terry more?
That's called leading the witness. You're leading the witness. Ask your question.
Okay, you know what? I don't think they're gonna win. Three of you here, you're already formed a conspiracy against me, but I'm waiting.
No, God forbid. What?
So, guys, this is All Things Considered. Good evening, happy Wednesday to all of you. I hope everything is going well. Mr. Gray, I saw that message, and but you will pay fine. I saw that message. Anyway, we're talking. Yeah, your message. You don't point everything, boy. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, guys, let's have a conversation. All things considered, Wednesday to Wednesday. What is going on here? Let's go into further. And we know one of the big news, one of the biggest calling in is former government officials. No, you're good. And a lot of conversation is ongoing. I think we need to give it a fair share so that we can know what's going on. But I think the person that is going to be helpful into this process is Mr. Gerald Bacon with his background. Except politics doesn't fight. So we're going to see. You know, you're out, Terry? Yeah, that will happen when you hang out with bad people. Your internet and let's welcome our man, Mr. the chairman of the board of directors of our own Liberian community, Mr. Lpr-Tv. Nathan. Good evening, good to have you here. I don't know, the time is winding down. We don't know what is the activity here, but hopefully we will get some heads up. Let me bring in Terry here. So, Mr. Bacon, what is on your plate here this evening? What about you don't have to go with what I'm going with. Later on, we can insight that into the conversations. What is on your plate? All things considered.
Let me just line it up. Today was a tragedy day in Liberia. The president was going to Lagare, Upton home on his way back. Car had an accident, and then the president car, the convoy, one of the EPS, which is the escort 2.
Was it part of the president convoy?
Yeah. So unfortunately, we have 1 dead and 2 seriously injured, and this I think we need to address in that country, especially the way when the ambulance is coming, people run to the ambulance. We need a law or policy in that country. When you tell these things, when the ambulance is coming, when you hear that siren, you need to stop instead of moving ahead of this thing. I mean, it's very, very unbelievable. You watch it live and you see it. I mean, it's unbearable. That's number one. Number two, the person of interest. Former official governments have been invited by the Liberian National Police for a question or whatever dialogue they're going to have. It's alarming, and that's one of the things. The third thing I just want to throw out there again, it's a serious matter in Liberia. The Assistant Minister for Internal Affairs, Mr. Jabate, threatened a sitting representative that he had a training in Russia, and if you don't stop talking or cursing the president or Mr. Boakai, he will bring mercenaries into the country to have him killed. These are serious matters.
This is so ridiculous.
So these are things we need to do. Oh no. So these are my talking point, and I just want to throw out there. Well,
okay.
Go ahead. Let me
yes,
start.
so we want to make sure and tap into people, whatever they gather for the week. We want to see it proportionally to have it done. Mr. Goya, today's Wednesday.
Yeah, well, the president spoke about equal access, participation in government, and he wrote out the equal pay for equal work idea. I think that is a good thing, but I do, however, think that equal participation in government goes beyond equal pay for equal work. It also goes to, especially now that we're about to celebrate 177 years, it goes to us as a people, auditing ourselves and reflecting and thinking on just one major question. How close have we come? Or how far have we gone from the promise of Liberia? The promise that is offered by the Constitution, and the promise that was envisaged by the settlers, and that was lived by the indigenous people. What is our movement? Are we moving towards that promise? How fast are we moving towards it? Are we moving away from that promise? How far have we gone away from that promise of Liberia? For land and liberty, with liberty and justice for all. And justice is not just in a court of law. Justice is also through Article 6 of the Liberian Constitution that requires equal access to quality education for all Liberian citizens.
Okay, Mr. Collins.
Yeah, there are a lot going on in the country as usual. And I think one of the points is stress. I think that is also on my plate too. I think inclusion. I know government of inclusion, inclusive government. The president made mention of equal pay and all that. I think the president speaking on that issue is lame. I want to believe it's lame because you talk about government inclusion. That's supposed to include the seditions. How many seditions you got in your government? How many? Are you balanced when it comes to your ethnic group? You know, is it balanced? Because we're hearing that there are a lot of people from Lofa County are employed. So you can be inclusive. You can have a government of inclusion, and then you are speaking some language that does not commensurate with what you are doing. Secondly, is with the issue of Yeke Koluba. I think that the government is playing right in the playbook of Yeke Koluba. Yeke Koluba wants them right where they are. All right. And that is what Yeke Koluba thrive on. Yeke Koluba he's not a representative material. He does not present anything when it comes to legislation. So what he thrives on is aggression. And that is where he want the whole country to follow him. And he will use that to gain sympathy from the seditions and gain their votes and the popularity. And I think that is working against the government. For the government to go after him, I think it's a great mistake that they are making. And I think he's going to exploit that to his advantage.
All right. The show is about to get at its equilibrium. Now you have these politicians, the ANC, the LPP, turn to UP and all of that here, to giving the analysis, and as if They are for you. But the real people that are for you, they are here. Oh, one of the Boshians is here as well. Let me bring him. Let me bring one of the Boshian, Koto Jalabalayans. They are all moved to the Liberal managed to recruit them. They are all moved to Eugene Fagon. But there's one person that is on this network who is there. One of the independent mind. Jerry Barker was praying that he doesn't show face tonight, but he's here. Dr. Marley Jones. Terry coming here, then you get one there, yeah. You're too stupid,
I think one thing I like myself, nobody intimidated me. My head
Oh
feel.
wow!
Eh?
But you just usher in your partner, right?
So wait, you say you're what? You're here now? What?
So let me use my senior brother phrase. My mind feel nobody must. I'm not being intimidated.
You see what's going on? You see how when people are initiated, when they form part of the liberal have training. Okay, gentlemen, good evening, Dr. Male. Koto Jalabalayan, good to have you. I monitor you on state-owned radios. I don't know what LPR group are just migrating. You guys at UG Fagon really having a great time. Good evening.
They're not Fagon. They're my government, and I'm part of it. So it's not Fagon. Get it right.
Alsorano.
But the man is the MG. They say he's not Fagon, and at the man program over there.
He just opportunity to be the head. He didn't.
Yeah, but he organized it. You get say it's not him.
Fagon even know how I got there.
Fagon was not the one that organized that show.
Yeah, but he's the official launcher of the program. He organized the program.
Again, right? He did not organize the program. He is the head of the LBS. I know how that program got.
Okay, guys, let's move.
Okay, sorry, brother.
We're trying to
organize it, but honor him.
Whatever.
I know what you want to tell me. Just let it go.
And I know who my throat Jenna from
Hey, you feel like talking? You're looking for Tabata, so get it.
Okay, guys, good to have you here. Happy Wednesday, Dr. Jones, Cotto, good to have you here, everybody, and to our many viewers. We got to warm up this May weekend. We have to put that independent spirit in ourselves as well. But despite of that, we cannot ignore some of the things that are happening. We need to give you a fair conversation. Dr. Jones, Cotto, good to have you. Let's jump straight to your talking point. Time is fast spent, so we'll get right into the conversation. Cotto Jalabalayant. All things considered, what are you hearing from back home? What needs to be fixed? What is your concern?
Thank you very much, and hi to all of you, all of the panelists, and I'm glad to be here. And the people of Liberia and those that are here right now listening to us, I want to say hi to all of you. What is going on? And I heard you guys talking about it. I heard even terrorists talking about government of inclusion, and that's the major thing right now that concerns me. And we have a country that is, let's say, consistent of how many tribes? I would not, I think 12 or how many tribes right now? I may not be exact. And to have all of them equally distributed, I think Terry is getting it wrong. It's difficult to get it 100%. Because even you want to go by county to say tribe, why if there's no qualification of that particular position, are you just going to take somebody from that tribe because you want to have a balanced tribe issue? So I think that's not how it's supposed to be. And for me, I would not preach that politics. Okay. I would not like to preach that politics. If we think that we should be included, we have people who have worked in previous government. People saw the qualification in them. People saw the let's say the responsibility in them, and they chose them. You will see people that they walked to them and told them, we want you to come and contribute to the country. So it depends on how trustworthy, how the president will see that person worthy, or whoever doing the selection will find the person worthy to employ the person. You
Okay,
cannot
we'll
just go
come to
in the
the
street
we'll
and
come to
start.
the details. I just want to hold you there. We're going to come to the details. We're going to go step by step to each of the analysts, their talking
Okay.
points, so that we can have a fair conversation. Is that what you're going with as well, or you just have a posting side to Terry to be a talking point before I go to Dr. Mali?
Yeah, I have the opposing side to Terry.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Let me go to Dr. Jones.
Yes, sir.
We are the one. When I say we, we are in. We stand for the right of these people.
Independent voices.
The independent-minded voices.
I've never heard independent people refer to them as independent so much often.
We got to remind the people. You
Some
see,
clarification. That's all.
well, whatever you want to use is up to you. They're trying to distract Dr. Mali. That's what they're doing.
That independent Bele caucus. That the two of them inside.
I don't care. You're trying to wrap this thing around Dr. Mali. It will not work.
The right wing people.
And,
That's it.
and I was going through my stuff, but then the way you cut me off, I have one more to add there.
Oh no, okay. That's what I ask. If you have it, you can add it there. Because what we want to do, we want to have them point back. But you can go add it before I go to Dr. Mali, please.
Okay. The issue with Yeke Koluba. And the thing about Yeke Koluba is when you keep the snail, the baby snake in your house, and you try to tame it or what the animals or the vet call it, then if the animal grows up and turn against you, that's what it is with Yeke. And it's like a lot of people can say your own knife, when it cuts you, you will throw the knife away, but then later you have to pick it up because it is your knife and you have to use it. You have the purpose for which you're using it. That's the issue with Yeke. We cannot throw Yeke away, and he has to survive. If there is some way that we can find means of whatever situation he may be going through, for me, I'm not one of those who will say, oh, they should take Yeke from here. I think it is our responsibility to find out what actually is wrong with Yeke, or whatever help we can be, we can give him. We gave him the help. Then to start criticizing him, he medaled it. I'm one of those who don't like to use that politics. Even if it is a sedition, I never told sedition the stupid. I never told sedition the this and that. No, I'd rather say I want you to change than to tell somebody you mentally ill, you this and that. I think if it is a problem, we should work around whatever problem he has. But I think we should not, kind of just insult him or kind of consider him like outcast. I think that's what I think in this Yeke issue.
Okay, we will get to all of the details of each one talking point. Hopefully, we'll be very concise, straight to the point, so that all can have a share. Dr. Jones.
Yeah.
Listen to these gentlemen, the lady, the gentleman, to all the tabata that coming from out of them.
I want to extend my greetings to all the panelists. And before I get to my talking point, I just want to make one clarification here on the group that was just formed. We are not babies on this platform. Every group has got a political philosophy. You buy into it, you dance with it. You wrap it around your neck, and together you people move. Well, we'll come to the details later on because I see.
Don't do that. Don't be shooting fire. Oh, no. Come on.
So,
hey man, doctor degree, get something behind him.
I know Facon, they say he did not form it, but I know for sure that one central team they are focusing on. So we'll get to that later on. My talking point here is about the police director.
Even the song they play on the background is Fagon's song. the song that played before the
Actually,
poll.
that song is not Fagon song. It's not an artist song. That music.
No,
No, what I mean, Fagon song, that the song he used to play before he
I
started.
played that music before.
program.
It was not made for Fagon. It was not made for Fagon.
No, I agree. I said it was made by him. But
No.
that song was his song, was his slogan song for his show.
You can say
Every
that
time he came on before the election.
That one
Okay,
is
guys, hold on.
It is not
Gentlemen, hold on. Hello.
No, I play Friday song. That's what I who the song. Then I who the show.
Okay, guys. Yeah,
I'd like to continue.
yeah. Go ahead quickly.
If they have decided to tear themselves down, let's provide them some water to drink. But anyway, here is my talking point.
Oh, but I thought about your talking point. Maybe when the talking point finish now, let's move on.
Oh,
How can you dislodge the co-host like that?
I tell you, you guys got to decide among yourself about the Fagon thing. We don't want to be distracted. We are not there. So, first of all, I want to commend the police director for looking into cases associated with disappearances of these auditors. But my bone of contention here is why they're limiting the thing just to the auditors. That's my concern.
That's a consequential question. Folks,
Yeah.
the show is about to get on the way. Welcome to the show. Time is fast spent while there is a status of limitations according to independent man Dr. Jones, and I spoke to that. Well, there's a statute of limitation. Crime is crime. Everybody should be investigated. We're going to get to the details, but let's go to Jerry Bacon. Jerry Bacon, I know you pick up three. I prioritize them out of the three. Just breaking one because I want everybody to chip in, or we must be concise, strictly to the point, so that everybody talking point can form part of a general conversation here. I know there were three that you picked, right? Three things you stress out,
Yeah.
all right? So let's put them in the order of priority. Which one you want to go first?
I think that you see the funny thing is that see human said get the same background today. I will work with him.
No, we don't want you on our side. Stay where you are. Don't come.
So
Mr. Mate, you gotta be careful, Mr. Bacon. I think you're gonna watch through.
So but the interesting thing here is that doing investigation, there's no limitation and say there's no limitation to say we are pick and choose. Wherever the evidence leads you, there where you follow. So if they caught about five, I think, or 4 or 5 individuals who they intend to investigate, whatever information they get, so it's not about only the auditors, but the other evidence will reveal and will follow it. But the interesting thing here is it is important that we are going to court cases. Court cases is important. It's not just about prosecution or we want to prosecute the people, but it gives you evidence, it gives you statistics where you want your institution to go, how to go about doing it. Investigation is so important. If you got the information, you will be able to use it, or you will be able to determine for another future investigation, or past cases, you will be able to go by. Because right now, we don't have the limitation on investigation or statute of limitation to say, okay, a ban of 5 years, ban 10 years, or 15 years. For that reason, we can do it. But I'm going to commend the chief of police or the minister of justice to go back to look at the cases. I hope they will bring Anderson case there too as well.
You hope.
Yeah. They will bring Anderson case. They will bring what's the guy name? Former managing director of Lpr-Tv. Harry Green, thank you. Yes. I mean, these are cases that really I was interested in Liberia. If I ever go to Liberia, these are the cases I'm going to be focusing on. And I'm not still going to stop.
Can I ask you a question? Wasn't the Harry Green case concluded by the Liberia National Police?
Well, yeah,
Why will you reopen a case that got concluded?
no, it's not. I think no, but you can still do an investigation to an analysis because they do an investigation and it was concluded. But what I'm saying,
I think that only arises if there is concern, if there's genuine concern that there hasn't been any concern. The Liberian National Police investigated and it was concluded. So why would you go reopen a case that was concluded?
Of course, there's some cases that still go there if there's enough evidence to do. People who have been convicted and been sent to prison for 20 years or 30 years, if there's evidence that leads to the investigation, you can still reopen the case.
Right, those are two different things, though.
Oh, no, it's not different. I'm just telling you.
But you haven't provided. Do you have evidence that you can give to the police that will help them to determine to reopen the Araki case?
Of course, that's what I'm saying. If I can go and do an investigation and say these are the evidence that we need to look at, and this is it, we can go back to the Minister of Justice, or you can go to the Chief Justice or the prosecutor and say we need a case to be reopened based upon the evidence.
Okay, but I think and that's I think exactly what Dr. Mallet. He's kind of like backing up with what you're saying here, but tell us precisely what is your point here. Do you feel those cases were inconclusive? Is that what you're saying based on the sort of investigations that we are hearing from the authority now, the timeline, and people that they are calling? Is that what you are driving to?
No, I'm rather not driving at the timeline. But I want to agree with Mr. Barcom. If new evidences arose, you can present it and try to make a case again. So even with this guy case, Harry Grieve, the way he died, and if we get a fresh evidence that maybe there was some people at the NSA connive to kill this guy, and we can prove it, yes, you can take it forward. You see, you can take it forward. Once you can prove it, you can take it forward, and people will listen. You see, but what I'm coming from here is that I think we are running a democratic. We are running a system that is characterized with the tenets of democracy. So, are we just looking into cases of the big fish? What happened to the smaller fish down there? There were other people that disappeared in our country, not only auditors. Are we going around the country to really look into some of these cases? As Mr. Bacon said, we salute the police director and the justice minister for taking this step. We are arguing that there will be other people to come in. I don't have that evidence. Okay? If that were the case, they are going to read a list and maybe starting with these people. But my concern here is that is it only limited to the auditors? How about common people down there that disappear in that country? Are we going to also look into some of those cases? This is my bone of contention.
Okay, your bone of contention.
Can I make a clarity there?
Yeah, we're going to come in. Hold on 1 second. I will be coming to you. Your bone of contention, we want to spin it. So
I hope you see we get the same background. The three of Mali and
what a meaning now.
You're looking for background here today.
I said, CEO, you gotta take a step. You gotta take some decision tonight. Because it seems to be a lot of people want to be co-hosts now, and my office is being threatened.
No, Sisepa, he would be the last person because we're fighting. So, and not prepared for us to do that on the live stream. But on a serious note, and to just send it to the other guys here. So, what is the interpretation, Dr. Jones? I mean, I don't want to say this, you're not a critical, but very objective. Do you see this as what?
Yeah, this is a government that was elected on the basis of so many attributes. And I think equal justice is one of those attributes. So if the government coming and limiting itself just to auditors, what happened to Akamina? I haven't heard anything further than the auditors. The TV boys that got drowned, Alain, Jefferson Kochi, and other people were acquitted. They couldn't find enough evidence Okay, fine. That's the police version. We agree with what the police, we agree with what the current police say about that. But there were other disappearances. Like for instance, they lay girl that died in a Lebanese people compound. They called the Queen suspiciously, and the family became helpless and restless. In the case, they said, I mean, there were so many different stories. So I just bring her into this picture. Are we going to look into some of those grassroots cases?
Okay, guys, let's keep it brief, succinct, so that everybody waits to do here quickly.
Yes.
Also, you said,
yes.
okay, what you said?
Yeah, prior to the police director picking that case, he has said it previously that they were going to be looking into previous cases. So he just not said that he only taking the auditor's case. Even yesterday he mentioned cases also that they need to be, they need to visit, but you cannot take all of those cases at the same time. But according to him, for now, they are going to take this case for now. So it's not that they're not going to other cases. No.
Okay, but then, Madam Balaya, then why we can't do it the other way around from the bottom to the top?
But what made which one bottom? Who to determine which one is bottom?
We're not going to do it like
life
a
is
dialogue.
important.
If anybody says something, just take note. When it come back to you, then we should do it. Sissy, let me just bring you in this thing here. Is this a sort of bone of contention, or does another functionaries of government, they decide which one to prioritize or which one perhaps to get more evidence for which the case is being recorded to get it going here? Is that how you see it?
Yes, and I spoke to the IG. I think even yesterday he was on the show. But besides that, he's missed some clarity a lot in the news space. That the
people sorry.
Who for again?
These people.
You and your host, like who are you?
No.
Go. Sorry.
The IG stated that before even announcing this piece, the court rightfully said that they have decided to go back and look at court cases. And the reason this got picked, nobody knows. It might be maybe because there are more evidence to this. This is less cold. Even here in America, there are some cases that are colder than others. And some of them don't have a lot of leads. And so you focus on the ones that are more promising to be solved, that have a lot of leads that you lead with. But I do agree with Dr. Mali that with liberty and justice for all. But sadly, in democracies, there are always big fishes that always get priorities. Even here in America, there are Black people that go missing. Black people that fall victim to crimes that are not as prioritized as white people in America here. We saw even in Liberia with the speed with which the Gloria Musu-Scott case was resolved and sent to court, and a verdict came out. It was way faster than many other ones, So I think those are some of the side effects of democracy. And yes, we are a very small country. We should be able to mitigate that. But I just want to point in this space that what I heard from the IG is that they are going to be having almost like a court case unit, and they are going to be looking into cases that have not been concluded. And he did say that a conclusion of a case does not necessarily mean that somebody goes to jail, right? So sometimes it's like, well, maybe this was just natural, or this was and just a conclusion. It doesn't necessarily mean that folks will be happy if somebody will go to jail in most cases. And so for me, I think where I stand on this topic is that I would love to see how after this piece, the next one I get picked, and maybe we'll start to see a pattern. And maybe the IG will explain to us that the pattern in which we are picking these cases is not about some other people are above the law, like Mr. Mali said, some people up and some people down, but maybe they can tell us a logical way that they're picking these cases so that the common Liberian doesn't sit and think that, oh, because my name is not this, or because I wasn't in this position, therefore my child going missing or my child being murdered doesn't count. And I think that is a legitimate concern that both Dr. Mali and Mr. Bakum brought up.
Okay, Terry?
Yeah, I think we are saying some similar things in unison, but view on the issue. I think that the IG is trying to create a playing field for his operations. The IG said it that he's looking for a police that is like a community police, like a friendly police, that a police that will be friend with the community and the community will be friend with them. He's trying to create some level of transparency and accountability so that the community will have trust in the police as compared to previous days. So in order to do that, he says he's dealing with the popular cases that have been on the docket that people have been talking about, that have been in the public. So he's trying to reopen those cases that was not closed, to do some investigation to give clarity. And I believe he's doing this. Public can see some level of professionalism, some level of trust, so that they can build trust in the system. But it does not negate the fact that the police have been investigating other cases and still are investigating other cases. And because it has not come to the public doesn't mean that they are not investigating other cases. The cases that they are working on are cases that are already in the public that people have been skeptical about, people have been talking about, and he feels that the best way he can create trust and credibility in his job is to reopen those cases and bring it to a proper closure. I think that is where I'm looking for.
Okay, before we go to the next person here, let me just throw this question out and everybody can use 30 seconds to just spin around here. We know, and it's obvious, high profile cases always take the center stage because GOL, whoever government is in place, will want to make sure to put it to rest or want to show to that they are in charge here. But public opinions sort of influence decision making, and sometimes it does have an impact, especially when there have been a conversation in the past, and people, we know how polarized, divided our country is. People, for whatever reason, took decision. Yes, this one did it. Yes, this one did it.
Right.
But a person, I talked to a security personnel. But the connotations of persons of interest, ordinary person that who doesn't understand or maybe get the detail to think when you call your name, it means you are already a convicted person based on some of the past history. But Mr. Bacon will be the one to put it into context here, and then we can move on to the next talking point. And this is what one of your colleagues said. When the word is deployed by security personnel, this person is a person of interest. There's a lot of assumptions, uncertainty in it. Well, this person might have some information. This person might have some sort of insight. There's a need. Maybe the person can help investigators to bring this case to a conclusion. Not necessarily he or she is a full participant, but there is a reason why investigators will call somebody as a person of interest. But within the public, judgment is prompt. We run a judgment, the court finds so the court says, the court Terry, it means Terry did this act.
No, they're not calling my knees out. I'm far away from you.
We'll call your knee to wait, we'll call your knee or Aziz out, Aziz Professor Aziz out, MCS that you far away from that one. That one you're not far away. But yeah, so we're going to spin around here. Because the reason we are having this conversation, we have to create that sort of informational tools to the audience with what we know. Because people go to different network, and based on their own attachment, they hear it, they conclude with it. I don't think, I could be wrong, but that's not my understanding, that when you are called in, it means you are called big. It means you did that act. But this officer said, there's so many implications, but they don't just do it like that. They will do their own investigation, and they feel that, okay, we need to call So he will help us. Maybe people talk about it, he was around. Or maybe there's information that will get us to the lead where we want to go. But that's not the case. So, Mr. Bacon,
Yeah.
is the person right?
No. See, there are two aspects: the guy investigation and the guy interrogation. The two. Investigation is I'm bringing you and say this is what it is. I'm going to confront you. Interrogation is say there's an interrogation. We're bringing you and say yes. An investigation. I mean you're collecting all your evidence and everything. I can bring you in and say interrogation. I question you. Where were you yesterday? Sunday. Where were you? Monday. Where were you? Tuesday. Where were you? That's an interrogation. Investigation is I've collected all my evidence and everything. I'm going to confront you with it. But here's the thing we are missing. You see, terminology changed the perspective of this thing. The person of interest came to exist after 9/11. Because they do that, most of the people was arrested, some of the things. So for that reason, we begin to they were person of interest. But there's nothing in the criminal justice system to say the person is a person of interest. No, you either be a suspect. If that person is a suspect, then you can bring them for interrogation, or you are doing your investigation. So that one
are those two words interchangeable?
Which
Suspect,
one?
persons of interest.
Yeah. When you are suspect, I mean, we have some evidence against you. We have you to be arrested. But here you are. When we bring you in and say you are a suspect, once we put you on arrest and say you are now on arrest, you had nothing to say. The police officer asked, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to get it right before going there. What I'm saying, suspect, persons of interest, are they same terminology? Are they exchanging?
No, they're not the same terminology. Person of interest, there's nothing in the criminal justice system and say the person of interest. You don't be a suspect or that's it. But person of interest began to exist. I was in the origin of the word, person of interest.
So if I'm correct, the word currently used by our investigator now is person of interest, correct?
Yeah, that's what they're using. There's nothing called person of interest. No.
So are they using the wrong? Are they using the wrong terminology in this case?
Even around the world, even in the Great United States, or when you say a person of interest, no, that is not. It began to exist because of the terminology, and it became usable in our society and being accepted. That we use the word tabata. Tabata now became accepted in our vocabulary.
So the word should be interrogate.
So yeah. Okay, then this is a convoluted one. Sissy,
let me finish first. Once let me give it to you. You see, Dr. Marlon mentioned something. The investigation has a lot of resources. We have resources to be able to do all these things. You can't pick up all the cases and say we're going to do it at once because it takes a lot of resources to do it. The cases that you want to. Second thing we want to take into consideration is that when the case is fresh, you still have to go to the witnesses because their brain has stayed fresh. But after 10 or 15, 20 years, people have moved, people have died, and some of the evidence have been destroyed. So sometimes you prioritize, okay, yes, the first one, people are still living, and the evidence has stayed fresh. Compared to one of 20-year cases, some of the people are dead, and some people have moved, you got no contact. So it make it very complicated. So some of the things, you have to prioritize which one people are still fresh, and people are still living, and some of the evidence have not been destroyed. So I just want to make that swing clear.
Okay, let's move ahead quickly here so others will contribute. It's a convoluted one based on what I'm hearing Mr. Bacon is saying. What should be the biggest takeaway? Because the public out there, the consumptions of the news, they have their own self-interpretation to these issues, be it criminal issue, social issue, political issue. The way they understand it, the way the language is being used, if not much clarity is provided, they draw conclusions. What should we be aware of in this case here from your own thinking?
Well, I don't want to be out of my depth on this one, but I think this and many other technical issues, I think the people who are in charge need to not speak at this level to our Liberian population. They need to be speaking at this level to the Liberian population, giving them information that is easily digestible and not making assumption. But I would like to see the rest of my time back to Jerry back on because this is his thing, this is his place. The only piece I wanted to make here was about when he said reopening some cases, and my question was about if those have been logically concluded, then you do have to find real evidence before they can go back, open it. Just can't open it back. But I would love to cede back my time to Jerry Bacon because this is his place, and I would love to learn. I mean, just what is in his brain right now.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, the cases, you can reopen the case. Take, for example, the person is missing for maybe 5 years. And later you say, okay, we'll close the case and whatever. Now you found some part of human body and you have to go reinvestigate the case and say, or reopen the case because we had discovered new evidence. So we have to reopen the case because of the past evidence was signed in the case at that time. Or maybe there was no weapon. Now you found a weapon and say, okay, you know what? Now we found a new weapon. We're going to do a test. If there is in collaboration with the investigation, then you reopen the case because you have a new discovery or you have a new evidence.
Okay, let me come to Terry here, and we are hearing the IG will be holding a major conference tomorrow at the Charles William Meeker Hall on Capitol Hill at Administrative Information, where I'm quite sure this is going to be. Terry, let me just ask you, as a Liberian, concerned Liberian, now we're seeing the words being put in now. We're going to be going to our dictionary, encyclopedia, and all of that, and say, well, what's the meaning? What this guy is saying? How can the IG perfectly interpret this? Let's place into his mind tomorrow as he mounts that podium. What do you expect to hear from him as a Liberian to put this to a rest? Because the judgment is people are rendering judgment now. People are guilty. These people do this. They the one did this based on past experiences and what people throw out there. What do you expect? How you want him to lay this thing out tomorrow?
Well, I think he's going to be the kind of Gregory Kuma I know. He's going to be professional. He's going to speak to the level wherein it will not create confusion between the two major political parties. And that, especially from our side, with the Unity Party people, they feel that this is what's supposed to happen from a political standpoint. And that is what Gregory Coleman wants to get out of the way. He wants to be non-political. He wants to appear in the limelight as a non-political police director that everybody will feel comfortable working with him. All right. So he has to create that playing field to not political. Like right now, everybody's saying, oh yeah, Samuel Twe, because he was called, our Gregory clarified that not because a person is under investigation, that means that the person is culpable to the crime, or that means the person was part of the crime. We're just trying to find a way. He explained properly. So by calling somebody doesn't mean that the person is guilty, And the armed deal thing he talked about, the three boys, he also said something that was very significant. He said that those boys that were part of the investigation, and I want to believe that is why the case is still open, that the two other boys' bodies that were not found cannot yet be declared dead until after 7 years. All right. So what I sense a professional RG that if given the chance, Liberians will have a best security operation going on. So I expect him to present. I expect him to present in a way that he will political.
Okay, let me come to quarter quickly before going to Dr. Jones. This is for me, and that's my own view, my own opinions, very consequential because we have just concluded election. People still in their minds, still in the fantasy land, they should have been this way, and this is not happening this way. Yeah, now we just left it and make 4 3 months. They call in some of the big fish in this place here. This seems to be like a wish one. But I think what Terry is saying, and I've listened to Director IG Coleman for the most part, he's very tolerant, he's very calculated, very careful in answering this question, knowing the institutions that he represents should be independent institutions, try to kind of establish this community and policing relationship so that the citizen will rely and trust on the police, because the police count on the citizen for tip-off if there was any crime in the making here.
Right.
What is your anticipation for tomorrow? Do you think this guy going to just put this thing to rest once and for all. And that too would be a boost for the government, because the way IG will handle it, they will say, oh, okay, wait a minute. The executive is not interfering into this here. The police doing their due diligence. They are going through the processes as it should be, and that gives the government a credit. What is your anticipation for tomorrow conference?
Mr. So I have listened to the IG concerning this case, and I think they are handling it professionally. But I think what led to what opening up this case was, we know that the fiancé in question at the time I left the country and was able to open up on some issues. So that contributed to a lead into this investigation. And also, Fagon, once upon a time, said that he's willing to take a stand on some information concerning the death of one of these auditors. So those are new information that may give a lead to these investigations. So I think there's a need. But I think when we keep talking and discussing it, there will be other information the IG will get to actually give us, because we want to get into the depth of this. It's not only this case, like we said, but I think, according to him, he said we're going to other cases. But like Mr. Bagon said, that it is financially, costly to carry on most of the investigation. And with the present situation we have with our security setting, I don't think they are able to take on those cases concomitantly. So I think that's the reason why. But I think tomorrow we're going to get some more information on the issues, because every day is the concern of everybody. And like you rather said, people are concerned. And based on this, one of the cases that led to this government, that were the promises of this government, that we are going to look into these cases. So we want to make sure that, if not coming to closure, but at least there will be some details or some information that will get some clarity that we will want to, get into this case.
Okay, let me come to Dr. Jones. Just before you note the late Barton Nyenswat, the former one of the auditor, we all here within the proximity, the family, we all know. Just let the event bump into one event, and you see, we are getting there. And the question of what is the interpretations of we are getting there? No further explanation. But Dr. Jones, if they were to extend that microphone tomorrow and say, okay, you as an independent guy, ask an independent question, what would be that question to IG Coleman in tomorrow's meeting? Or what specifically you'll be listening up to, hearing from him tomorrow?
Well, I think I will ask the IG 2 questions, because earlier the IG had already modded this whole thing. From the analysis of Mr. Bacon, the IG screw up.
How?
Good. In fact, this is the headline. This is the lead story in almost all the people in Liberia right now. And almost the 6 people that I read, there's this statement of person of interest is in all these papers. Two other papers said police reopen investigation. These are sensitive statements here, all right? So going by what Mr. Bacon had just said, the issue of interrogation and investigation, trying to educate us, I think I would want to capitalize on that to say that the IG blundered. So going back to your question, if I were there and try to give some question to the IG, my first question would be, I will go back to the paper that you have you have decided to reopen these cases. Do you have new evidences concerning the death of these people? And my second question would be, are you interrogating this whole thing or relitigating these cases again? Because the mindset of the Liberian people now is like, when you try to reinvestigate, the mindset in Liberia now is like, oh, you're looking at something went wrong, they hide something somewhere, you're looking at the new IG, bringing it all again. You know, that's the mindset the people get in Liberia. You see, I got a friend who called me today from Liberia and said, oh, they're going to throw two of them in jail. They went, they provided for evidence. Now the police director on their back, they come and go to Bele Yala, they come and go to jail, you know. So it's like that's the kind of mindset in Liberia right now. So I agree with Mr. Bako. No terminology, they got to be very careful how they're putting it to the public. So my last question would be, now you're calling these people for person of interest. Are they going to come with a lawyer? Because whenever a case starts, there are people of interest. They're not
Yes,
guilty.
but Dr. Jones, I hate to interrupt.
Uh-huh.
It is not a responsibility of the IG to ask them what are they going to. It left with that when security person calls me in, considering this sort of the gravity of this case, and call me and say I'm a person of interest, I should know better. I'm not going to go out there to make any statement without my legal counsel being represented. So it is not within the purview of the IG to tell them you need to come.
Then now you just open another can of worm. Why if my lawyer stand up and said no, he's not a person of interest, and say you provide me the evidence?
No, but
that is not what you're for lawyer.
I just bring it a hypothetical case.
You can refuse to answer a question, but you can't refuse to go.
The lawyer can't say that.
No, but Mr. Mali, that is not what in that purview.
In this country, you the defense counsel, you provide your evidence to the other party.
That is great prosecution, not investigation.
You have called me.
Okay, quiet.
Mr. Mali, that's when you already prosecuting.
When they accuse you.
Yeah. So but our mindset is when you call me a person of interest, from our mindset in Liberia, automatically are already guilty. That's how people think.
No, they call you for questioning.
Listen to me.
I call for questioning.
Madam Balaya, I said the mindset.
Can I come in, please?
Yes. All right. So that war mindset, that war person of interest, I don't know. And police reopening the investigation, I think those were two wrong words or wrong phrases, if I may say. Yeah, Mr.
I'm going to pause and wait and see what comes out of IG Commons tomorrow. Let's see how he want to cut through this whole thing here, because everybody on edge with respect to them, because these people, I can tell you, if you do a public opinion in the past based on what we all are hearing, people are saying they are being convicted. With that public opinion be it translated into today's reality, I don't think that what's going to happen. But we're going to wait. But it is also interesting to see what there will be a brave person asking that question tomorrow, because my guess, there must be a reason why this case is coming out at this time. And using this word because the investigators, the Liberian investigators, they're also Liberian investigator, they reported that's what I use. How the ex-official, and this is an open-ended question that they are asking, how the ex-officials became persons of interest in Yanswa's death. That is the real key question here. How? So whether somebody will repeat this question, and I hope their reporter will be there to ask he Goldman, because how, when you ask an open-ended question like that, it provides explanation. So I hope somebody will get both to this here and ask that question here. Yeah, explain.
But Mr. Bako,
I think he answered that question.
CEO, before Mr. Bako come in, I'm confused in one area here. Maybe you guys can clarify. Were these people part of the first investigation in we are government? The person of interest?
No,
This
You
is
gotta
why,
ask the we are people.
yeah, no.
This is a new government.
No, listen. I said, were they part
what I
of
do know,
the previous investigation? Whether there were any investigation, I don't know. That's
the
what
Norris guy I do not know precisely the length in terms of how did it go, but he was one of the persons, and I mean, we talked to some of the family members here that they were in Norris. Now I'm not talking about Tue and Willamenta Jala and all of that. But we don't know. We do not know. At the time, when there's a certain government too, there are a lot of things shoved under the rug. That, of course, is common. It's everywhere. Now, this person here, who knows whether they've been having other conversation or whether there was some other tip off. Koto did mention something because the lady in question left the country, correct?
Yes,
And it took her a time before talking. I do not know who all of the people that she spoke with and what has become the new development because people wanted her to speak at the time, but she was also afraid of her life. Maybe it could be a reprisal, even though she left the country, but family members there. Now things are quiet down. It is within her own purview now to speak. So the question now becomes, and I hope somebody will ask that question. And our guys going to be there. I want to send my own question. Hopefully, they give me the chance as well to ask. Whether there's a new lead, and that's the point Koto will come into. So, Jerry, let's tap into your expertise here. Without knowing all of the details here and just getting the surface of this whole thing in the manner, how it's just proceeding in a sort of huge way here. Do you think there is some sort of new development into this case here for which the IG is now even calling on these people to have a conversation?
I would say probably yes, because you cannot just call somebody in personal interest and if they have no sufficient evidence or sufficient information that you want to work with. But let me disclose this first. The case I've been talking for the time I came on the show. Yusua was a friend of mine. I'm friended with them. I'm friended with his wife. So let me disclose it out there first. Let me make it known to the public that Yusua was a friend of mine. His wife is, I know the entire family. I know his children. I know all of them. From my house to his house is a walking distance from here to my house. Anyway, so when he used to come to the States, we go to the house and hang out. Anyway, so I just want to make that clear because people will say. But here's the thing we have to take into consideration. Once you go out there and you have personal interest, it had two interpretations. Some of the witnesses that you want to interview, they will be silent because some people who have connection, they will silence you. And maybe that's the way they want to do the investigation. But at this time, before you go out there to announce personal interest, I wish, of course, if I was in the IG, no, there's nothing called personal interest for the time I've been studying criminal justice for the past 30 years or 40 years. But yeah, what I want to say. Somebody asked a question. If they call you to the police station or if a policeman asks you, you got nothing to say to them. You got nothing to say. Because anything you use, even they say interrogating you on the spot, where you coming from, where you going, how long you going, where you coming from, you coming from work or have you been drinking? No, you don't have to answer the question. So if they walk to that place tomorrow, if they were if I were passing there, you go there, the police call you, go there. When you go there, I'll just tell man, sir, Mr. How you going to say, Mr. Chief of Police, if my client is charged, he said no. I said, okay, let's go. Don't say anything to them. If they have charges, better come and put a warrant on you and have you arrested. If they arrest you, then we can do it. But don't open your mouth and say anything to them. Let them arrest you. You don't have to say anything to them. They call you tomorrow. What? They call Jerry back and come to the police station. I will go with my lawyer. If they want to ask me a question, I said, with the advice of my lawyer, I got nothing to say. If you have a charge against my client, having arrested or have her arrested, then we can file the bond. As simple as it is. So the person of interest, if they go there tomorrow, I know not us. I mean, these are people who have finance, so they will get the best of lawyer in Liberia who are willing to represent them. So they're not going to sit there and say, go answer or talk to the police. No, You as a person, let me 1 second. You as a person, when they come and ask you, you don't have to talk to them. If they arrest you, fine. Then you can talk if you choose not to talk.
Okay, so for us to bring this to a closure here, let's put cap on the hair here. What will you tell the Liberian people that are listening to us? Everybody just take a deep breath, chill out, let the process play out. Is that the case?
Yes, sir. Me? You talking to me?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, sure. You know what? The only thing I can tell the Liberian people who listen to or who follow on Lpr or other radio station who listen to us tonight, if a policeman come to you and say they ask you a question, you don't have to answer it. Let she or he put you on an arrest. Want to put you on an arrest, then the process begins. But so long you're not on arrest, you're not entitled to answer the end of the question until they put you on an arrest.
Can I say something real quick? Because
Yeah.
as Mr. Bako was talking, I was doing my own research on the side. Yes, the terminology person of interest had not been widely used until the late 1990s. However, I'm just looking out here. There's actually a news report right here, July 24th, coming out of Vermont, of an 82-year-old person death, and there's a 23-year-old person being officer said was a person of interest in America. So that terminology is being used in U.S. law enforcement right now.
But that's what I said. I said from the it's not being used, but that's what I said from the beginning.
Yeah, so that's why Greg was using it. So there is such a thing now because now it's becoming widespread.
That's why I said it became the norm. First of all, it was not the norm. That's what I said from the beginning. But anyway, go ahead. Thank you.
Okay, so let's take a deep breath. Let's chill out. We shouldn't jump ahead of our shadow here to say, oh, because the corporate sometimes, the
So
facts.
can I inquire, point of inquiry, Mr. So, to Mr. Bacon, because he is the professional on the show for security reasons. What I want to know for you, Mr. Bacon, is that because like Gregory said something about that you can call somebody, like for example, the night before the man died, once you were with the person, you can call you that what you talk about of interest, person of interest. We're supposed to be calling in for interrogation. But what my question to you would be is that is it wrong? Because I know that the police does investigation and forward the investigation to the court, because the police is not the one that convict a criminal. They are only responsible to do the investigation preliminarily and forward the investigation to the court. So people that are going to be arrested, blah, 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 forward it to the court. So is it wrong for Gregory Coleman to highlight? Are you telling us on this platform tonight that it was wrong for him to highlight the names of Samuel Twe and the likes of all those people that is quote unquote being allegedly called persons of interest, or is called a person of interest?
But quickly,
is that what you're saying?
It wasn't even Gregory that announced them. It was Twe that read the letter. All along, Gregory did not announce these people.
No, but what Twe is doing too,
it's publicized.
Prior to that announcement, he knows that the
it wasn't the police that announced it.
No, but the thing here is a common sense. I mean, he is strategic. I mean, he's a former minister of government, a close confidant to the president. Before announcing that, there was a prior communication from the police authority that I wanted to talk to him. So what he's doing right there, strategically in the communication work, is to get the media attention. Hey, folks, this is what's happening. Even though he tweeted, he's not saying he's committed a crime. But before Mr. Bacon comes in, Terry, to that point, the police can charge you of a crime being committed, but they're not going to convict you. And now, when they charge you, they send you to court. Now, I mean, they're going to work with their DA, district, or whatever county attorney. That where the evidence, when it goes to court now, that where both defense and the prosecutor, they're going to go into it. But Mr. Bacon, answer that question quick, and then we can move on.
So I'm not saying he is wrong, but once you publicize this, it also compromises the witnesses some of them will be intimidated. Some of them will be because, let's say, you and myself are together, and the police say Jerry Bacon is a person of interest. Then you yourself, you be silenced now. you be afraid to talk. You know, if the police come to you now to come and ask you a question, because you be like, oh no, I don't want to talk. But yeah, sometimes you do a background investigation. That's what we call investigation. Then before we can bring you in for interrogation. But now it's out. So there are other potential witnesses who could come and collaborate
Who
some of
become
this story.
frightened.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they become frightened. That's my point I'm talking about. Because right now they become
Okay.
publicized.
Let's go to Sis's point here. No time is fast spent here, but this is it's a greasy one here too. So we just gotta talk it. But I think we were very much explicit. I think, and we want to call on Liberian. Forget about the politics. I like CDC. I don't like CDC. These are very high-profile cases, and let the professionals do their work. We must be exercise tolerant. We just need to ask the right questions. We want the real truth because families are very, very high. Sisters, let's get to your point here quickly.
Yeah, I was talking about the president and the work of inclusion, and I wanted to first of all say acknowledging that the work of equal work for equal pay or equal pay for equal work is something that we've been working on here in the U.S. I mean, that has been a progressive thing and that has gone up, come down. People fight against it. Right now, there are data out there that shows that even in the U.S., women make about 80 cents on the dollar to men for equal qualification and equal work that they do. And so for a country like Liberia, for the president to be leading that charge, I think it's a good thing. However, when we talk about inclusion, I think we should go beyond just equal pay for equal right. I also, after listening to my fellow panelists, wanted to put a little bit of a focus around when we talk about government of inclusion, because I don't think it's about political inclusion. Because quite often we mistake government inclusion to mean internal government or national unity, where I pick one from every political party and bring it in, and the people that we don't agree on the same ideology, I take them and bring them in my cabinet. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because you cannot propagate my ideology when you don't even believe in it. But I think the problem that happens in Liberia quite too often is that we mistake civil service, which is the career employees of those organizations that are supposed to remain there, whether they are seditions or not seditions, wherever government come to power or no government come to power, those are career qualified technocrats.
Yes.
That is different from presidential appointees. And this is where most of the time we get it wrong. We think when people say government inclusion, when CDC win, they should make a Unity Party president a defense minister, right? I can't do that. In no smart country where people do that. Elections have consequences. However, you cannot. I think one of the pieces that I'm concerned about is political participation has to include, if you are appointing people from your political party or from your political group, it has to be diverse, right? And I think Terry spoke to that. We have to look at the breakdown across. For me, I'm looking at it across. I don't want to go granular with tribe, because if we do that, Lofakande got too many tribes. We still get many people come from Lofakande. But you have to look at it proportionally with their representation within the population, right? And then we also have to be able to look at it across ability groups. Do we have people who are living with disabilities that are given equal opportunity, equal access to prevail? And we also have to look at it on the basis of economic inclusion. What policies is the government creating so that all Liberians, whether you're seditious or you are like us who got the 1%, and my other cousins down on the other side with the 1%, that we still have a chance to participate in the economy, that you are not making laws or policies that prevent certain Liberians and that you are not picking winners and losers. And it also comes down to access to education, that we are not picking rural versus urban, that we don't focus a lot of our money in quality education in urban places, and then rural places get forgotten. And as it is right now, that is a sad story of the Liberian educational landscape. And I'm happy that Dr. Jala is going around taking a tour and collecting data. We would love to see what she comes with. But anybody here can bear me witness, and if you're in Liberia, let's even just look at Mosoralo alone. The further you move away from the center of Monrovia, your access to quality education drops. If you're doubting me, just look at Todi. So as you go beyond Mosorado County and you start going further and further away, access become very limited. Quality goes down dramatically. And so when we talk about, I think what the president, and I hope that he's talking about on this issue of inclusion, cannot just be about pay equity. Pay equity is a great thing. But what are we doing to make sure that our girls go to school? What are we making to make sure that when our girls get pregnant, two people get involved in the same act, The boy is allowed to go to school, even though he impregnated a girl, but the girl is not allowed to go to school. That is not equal access and equality. So those are some of the pieces I'm thinking about.
So some of the pieces I'm thinking about, the perfect guy who's going to put this into context is a free thinker like myself. Look, Dr. Mali, since they are politicians, so they get away of overrun using this sort of roller skating tactics and put all of these good words together and all of that. I want to see it being perfected, being put into action. And this is what the politicians are very good at. They throw this sort of red meat out there and then they blow everybody hair off. Then the pastor, political analysts, and all of them wrong with it. And and then Jerry back on the other side, they put their shoulder part in the air. Come
but
on.
man, that hasn't made a question about. Don't take shout out everybody before you get to it.
Yeah. I'm tired of hearing these sort of lyrics from these politicians and their surrogates sitting on this very network and talking all of these things here. Do you believe in that?
Well, partly, I think Cece is stressing a very unique point. But Liberia is 177 years far from Cece philosophy. Very, very far. And I don't know when we're going to catch up with this kind of thing. Those are very brilliant things. I agree with you 100%. But we have got different model of operation in our country. Since I got to know that. Even the issue of equal pay, equal time, you bring that thing down there now, somebody will want to chase you out of Liberia. Because we have what I call men's war in Africa. And not like here where the women stand up to them and say, look, it got to be equal. No. In fact, in Africa, we let our women stay. So many of them stay in the house or clean the house, then even allowing them to go to school. It's not that most of them get forcing their way. So what Sister is saying is true, but we are 177 years far away from that thing. Can Joseph Barker do it? Well, I don't want to put my money in that other era. But this is why.
No, hold on.
One thing you scared up. All the things you put down, one thing you scared up.
Well, you've been talking. Are you also compromised now, Dr. Mali?
No. No, I was just testing the water. Let me get to that. His Excellency is also far from putting in place mechanism like that. I've been hearing something like that in Liberia, but I don't know how practical it is. But the issue of inclusion, I just want to tell Cece that it's all because of poverty. That's it. It's because of poverty. You see, people are poor, so they're forced to dance together so they can share the little bit down there. You see, when Joseph Barker was coming, he decided not to get any party joining him, this and that. He strongly believed that the elephant should be for just he and his group, and but that's how it is. But when it came to a particular spot, he got to open the elephant meet up because, other than that, we are going to go back. So he got to open it up for other people to take peace. So that government or inclusion, it's just about poverty. I'm telling you. It's not about patriotism to the nation, like how says a right for the police. We are far from those things. You see.
Okay, far from it. So, Mr. Bacon.
Yes, sir.
You listen to CC analysis and Mr. Dr. Mali. It's a guy that you support. He's making a plea. That's a very great vision, but I want to see it being fully implemented. There are a lot of components within that. Not just do one side, leave one side. That's insufficient for me, and I'm just saying it. So, what do you say? How do you want him to? What would satisfy you? Satisfy you in a sense for good Liberia, not for your own political purposes. That's not what I'm talking about.
Look, I'm not looking for political office. I'm here. I enjoy myself. So let's forget what I want. So I'm looking at my own interest.
I've heard those things. I've heard those things then before. When your light,
I have disclosed it on the show. They had given me offer 3 jobs to me in Liberia, and I turned it down. 3 jobs. 3 jobs. And I turned it down in Liberia.
Don't worry, Mr. Bacon. We bring on ERBC.
Mr. Bacon, go ahead.
Maybe they offer me join Liberia.
Maybe the job will not look pretty.
Join Liberia. Well, Liberia stand. But here's the thing. Let me say this. With all seriousness. There's something called element demand. It comes with pain for development purpose. If Buckeye, His Excellency, want to execute his plan, you have to wear an elephant skin and execute it with no favoritism and stick to your guns and say, this is what I want to do. This is my legacy. I'm going to change this. Tower King, he said, from mat to mattress. He put on that strong jacket and he executed. Tower said, my partner used to tow hammer. They used to do plotter work. They used to go on the commissioner farm. And he said, listen, nobody going to go on the plotter farm again. I think most of all year, our partner, our man, is calling, because he's the calling, and so he know what they call plotter say anyway. So that's one of the things. Anyway, but
no, Collins out a hammer. Go, they used to tow him a hammer. You told me hammer.
But yeah, it's the thing, Mr. Buckeye, he head in the right direction, especially when it comes to the civil servant.
Yeah,
one thing we have to understand: civil servant is from the top. These are career people who stay there, whether president go, president come. Even the governor leave. These are career people who stay there. They take the head of that department. These are the appointed position, but the civil servants stay. So we have to change that perception in our country. Anytime any government can, they will sweep the whole entire ministry or the whole entire government will bring in the people. We have to change that system. Thank you. I hope Mr. Buckeye will execute this thing that he want to do.
I know what you're saying.
By the way, I gotta leave. I will see you tomorrow. I will talk about something tomorrow important. Stay tuned. Thank you. I will see you.
Yeah, you finish talking your Tabata, you going, which is okay.
Well, that's fine. For your standard at Tabata, but from other people, they understand what I'm talking about.
Go prepare your studio. Yeah, we'll soon bring out ERBC. Yeah, go get a studio ready.
Well, we know
United Association.
Now we know all the candidates that in line.
You
say what they need? You say what they need the association?
Fargon United.
No, I will stay right here until you fire me. Then I will be able to leave. But for now, I'm going to stay. If you want to fire me, that's fine.
You will fire yourself. So, and the labor when you go, he can't. The way he was drinking 2 gallons of water every second. Now he's drinking 5 gallons. When he come from ERBC, he can't. Then he tired. He said, "Oh, the show coming." And you think what I'm gonna do? That guy.
All right, guys. Have a good night. I gotta run.
Okay.
All right, man, Mr. Bacon. Have a good evening.
Okay, Koto, let's hear you. What you want? The president does a very good piece, and the sister made a perfect analysis. But when that comes to reality, that's another thing. So politicians, they are very good, calculative in putting things together and throw it out there, but having it implemented, that's another thing. The leaders can have the vision, but their surroundings, and I don't blame their surroundings, I will blame them because they get there. So if they allow themselves to be controlled, I'm not going to buy into that. Oh, the president do that, they want to be. No, you brought that person there. You should be able to control the person that you brought, not the person to control you. If that happens, then I question your leadership style, because you can't bring somebody in your cabinet and this person is not up to your vision. And that's what sister was saying. So there's inclusion thing here. I would never appoint you when you not agree with me. Go or come down. Jesus said confirmation. It will not happen because you don't believe in my vision. So how can I make you information minister to go tell and say, oh, I don't want to keep so? No, that's not going to happen. So how do you think what approach do you think now it's coming from the chief executive? So my assumption here, there was some sort of consultation with his inner cycle, and they must be able to support that president's agenda. Will you see that? Do you think that will happen in real time?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. So I see that there is a president that says something and then he follows what he said, and I agree with you that he appoints the people, and whatever policy he brings forward, they should be able to follow them. That's why he appoints them. He has this power to appoint them, and he has said it. And I think before this conversation came out, it started with the decentralization. And we're hearing this conversation about the decentralization. Once the decentralization goes on, what follows next is this inclusion. Because then we will have opportunity of where we now seeing they're talking about even registration, business registration, and even ID cards and things should not only be centralized in Monrovia, but in the counties and things. And if these things go on, people from the various counties will start benefiting. And if they are benefiting, that's going to increase employment also. Okay, because a job opportunity will be created in those counties. And if they are created, what happened? That's the same inclusion benefit we are getting there. I think people kind of misunderstanding when they talk about it. When they talk about inclusion, I'm going to take everybody here that we hear now and say, oh, everybody got to be in one basket. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that we all be there. But if sister's daughter can benefit, if my brother or my family can benefit, that's the same opportunity we all have. It doesn't necessarily have to say, I must be there.
You are benefited, since you are benefited, you're on state radio. We probably get nothing here because
yeah, you see, the same reason we are here is the same reason we are in there. Because people come to you and say, we want you to come and contribute. And for me, that's my way.
So why they want to ask you? Why they want to ask us? You're the one.
You're not working with the president vision. So if you go there, you disturb the president vision.
No, there was a rally that Mr. So went to.
I said you really said it, right? You really
said it. And you know, as I say, like what do I do? It's a kind of rally with the CDC virus.
You're fighting me.
Ooh.
I don't see my ideology going directly with you, so you look kind of like answer my.
The good thing here, you see how the one affair, Casapico Master we used to be in can water. But I get a special need for him. You know, I didn't want to call that. You Casapico, you guys, all of them. When just for him, you
answer my progress right now.
Okay, so you see what George is saying?
No, that's not true. I still carry on recruitment if you stay people of interest. If you are interested, we will want you there because we still want people, contributing.
Yeah, please.
The only thing is the ideology is what matters.
No, but Mr. So,
oh boy,
the government of inclusion. It come in different form, in different sizes. Oh,
that's why
I come in now. Some people get on radio station, a part of government inclusion. In the future, when you get rep, they don't have to go looking for anybody anywhere. They just pick you from there.
Oh, our business. I just telling me to join the telling me 10 to 2 hours.
Because you tell them what happened on the show today.
Yeah. No,
I was eating cat there today.
Yes.
You know me.
I said they will not spend 1 more on that show. It was my boss. You smell it.
I get my advice for you. If you don't want to follow the philosophy on that platform, you will come back home.
But I'm home. What are you talking about? I'm home. This is my home.
So, I was going to call on the line.
We have to contribute on that other line, but I'm here. I'm home.
That's what I understand. That part of the government of inclusion.
The only my only concern before I go to tell you.
No, Mr. Josie.
Leave that to Mali alone. Leave that to Mali that radical.
Honestly, feel Director Fagons, which Hope's position, by the way, is a cabinet equivalent to the cabinet position, should stay there because he will get himself into trouble. If he continues to stay now, he will not hold himself. People will say something, and you will go somewhere. And he started the other day by government I get money to have election and stuff like that.
He actually hasn't been on the show the 5 times I've been there. He hasn't been on.
Yeah.
5 times you've been. How many times?
I thought you were not coming here that number.
Wow. Terry? We'll give you. But Terry, respond quickly so I will go to the caller. No, I mean, it's good to.
Yeah, so
I know I trust you. Say, you're not going to be like a liberal to wave white flag. Then when he can't cry to me. That's what I don't like to hear.
You can't wave blue flag here.
Yeah, Terry.
yeah, so actually, I differ from some of the panelists' view. I think that if you say government of inclusion, you should also include the CDC. And in as much as you're saying that the person can be against you, then you bring them on board. No, everybody knows that according to our constitution, the people the president employed works to the will and pleasure of the president. Once you go contrary, the president have the right to fire you. So if you want a government of inclusion, like the president himself said, that there is no blue Liberian, there is no blue Liberian, there is no green Liberian prior to the elections. Yeah. So Mr. So go ahead.
Anyway, you know, we don't sanction voices here, but you're giving me a headache now. Some of the things.
But that's my own opinion.
Okay, that's what. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, government of inclusion is not only restricted to, you getting people who are educated, but they're part of your political party. Then that is not a government of inclusion. Government of inclusion cuts across the aisle. It involves diversities of people. It involves people that are disabilities. It involves people that are with all gender equity. Government of inclusion cut across every sector, including your political party. Including your government. You cannot say that you have a government of inclusion, but then bulk of people who are qualified because they are seditious, you cannot employ them with the notion that, the person did not support me. So what about Grace P? How did Grace P go in the house? And Grace P did not support the Unity Party.
I'm saying
When you
the
win
politics.
election,
If the person
when
is
you win an
qualified
election,
and I see the person ability that they can contribute to my government, I can employ you.
but
But
the
it's not
constitution.
So that's what I'm saying.
Terry, you put our constitution wrong. Our constitution does not say that
So
you have
I
to
don't
hire
know
other
what you're
political
talking
parties.
about.
It doesn't
I didn't
say
say the Constitution said that. I said the Constitution says that anybody the president employs works to the will and pleasure of the president. So you can say that the man is of a different political party, so he don't believe in my vision, so I cannot employ the man because the man is compelled to work to the caprices of the president will.
Here's the problem.
Before I go to the caller.
Here's the problem, Terry. Again, this is the mistake we're making, like, bro. We don't understand civil service versus presidential appointees. In civil service, and I think this is a mistake we made with several governments, when they come, even the cleaners that are supposed to be civil servants, they get changed, and we bring in sedition, we bring in UPS, we bring in these people. So another government can you move those people? That is not right. But the presidential appointment has to be people that the president is comfortable with. And in order for me to be comfortable with you, I have to understand that, for example, my arrest agenda about Joseph Boakai, I got to pick an education minister who believes in that. And usually that person is going to be the person that was working in my cabinet from the beginning, my shadow government, that was writing my philosophy on education. That's the person I'm leading with. I'm not going to leave that group and go jump to a sedition I didn't know from the beginning where the bones and the mirrors are and put them there. Then the arrest agenda will never be carried out. It will never be carried out.
No, so you see.
So let me go to the caller. Caller, are you there? Caller, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Oh God. Oh my God. He's here.
Terry, your best friend here.
Yeah. My sister. Hello.
Here I come. Now because I mean coming here tonight.
Not Terry best friend. Make it come with Terry. Terry the friend.
Yeah, but the man, I'm a man.
Please,
Me and the man can think the same way.
let's listen to Breakable.
Yeah, go ahead, Breakable.
I said they wouldn't join the gang for them. Only this thing can go away. We all the stuff in this. My own brother,
He said they gave me job. They gave me job. Or they give me...
I dream my artist. They do ambassador job.
Oh,
Man, I won't go to their hot tub, but you're not operating this time, so I gotta go.
oh my God. Bricker, look, Bricker, I'm begging. Leave me alone.
I don't think I'm
Let
bringing
it guy make a point, man. He said, hey, Gina.
Let me, I listen to my comment of inclusion. And you say, because I not as tradition, you not get saying, look, let me meet some people. That person, we are seeing another president, we are policy. And seriously policy. When president, we are elected. Emmanuel Lukwe, or Bapele to Judah Baga. Opposite policy. Harrison Kawi was Liberty Party president for giving job. Even the union number never supplied season.
Harrison Kawi endorsed you in round 2.
Making a job. The internal affairs minister was giving job. The same job you're on, the Betty, the Charles of Union Party. You know, support citizen was making a job. Listen, I can leave all that never support citizen. So, and look, Terry, you are strong, man. That was what I made yesterday. I'd like to try it. That was who can lose this on the show here. That was the good for us.
No.
Mr. Sawyer, Mr. Sawyer representing you.
Keto is a sedition.
Mr. Manager,
This is a weird shit.
Independent, how you know about it? No, listen.
Hold on, quick. 30 seconds.
I'm going to give it. I don't want to show, please. I listen to my sister tell my October and say the new Republic of Yakoba. The new Republic of Yakoba. You know a Republic of Yakoba. The Republic of Yakoba is simple. Yakoba can insult people that are in leadership, and you also put him. Don't want you to show a voter for you to because you're so young, somebody power again, so it's so weird.
Okay.
So it's not very different. The things on the score is the man Gabate. Who fetching a certain lawmaker or librarian, your own brother, to kill you in 3 weeks' time. We're not discussing it. And I'm looking
right.
at
Yes,
very cool.
Thank you for that comment.
You're talking about the case where kind of other case, no money. They have money in it. Listen, the current cases are on docket. Those during the election time, the parliament, what people that are on the docket are new.
Okay.
People that are accused of those cases are being appointed.
Thank you so much. Let me go to the next caller, please.
Let me just let one. The president, there are two more. Let me this is what it is. The president said deputy and third deputy. The president said no business as usual, but you do better as business as usual. Not to my message. This one, look, all the president say it be different. The way they do it is worse than even the one say. And the travel listening thing you're talking about. The people are in the government, we're not talking about travel listening for in the government. We're talking about county. In the local county, the government they're not in power. The guys 60% and 40% of them. 45% of them.
Which one? 70, 40, 45%.
Southeast gets 6 counties. 6 counties for Southeast.
Let me go to Tail Lion. We can. This is, oh my goodness. Lion Tail.
Yes, thanks.
Let's hear you.
Yeah, greeting to everybody, all my big brothers. From the onset, with this government came to power, I've been saying this thing that Joseph Wanga is awful. He carry on the troubled, leadership in a way that he plunged our country into civil unrest. His deputy minister, his government, Joseph Wanga, how people what as we hear this information coming up, they haven't said that. Chamakere are the ones that were getting killed of Joseph Wanga in the country. So we're getting the information secretly. Now we have the Russians. We have been trained by Russians, having mercenaries in his government, operatives from the Russians and the Chinese
to sabotage America. You know, America will always support America.
Where are your facts?
I said this city shake a
Let
lot.
me ask for facts. You get hot out.
Let the caller make his point, and then we can.
And it's true. Now I'm saying this thing that Joseph Baga is also look. If you look at the Jeremiah Clean fact, Joseph Baga had a key similar in the military there, and most of his people have been recruited working in the military. They're going to support Joseph Baga and the step the Liberian people.
Oh my God.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much.
So you see people ain't been joining the army before like that. Now they joining the army.
They will not get interest to be president in that country. They're going to something horrible going to happen.
Thank you so much.
To prevent Jeremiah from not being president in that country. Get to the back of the man. It is on the way.
Thank you so much.
Very seriously.
All right. Let me go to the next caller here. 214 number 5215. Caller,
This edition bell line in government in opposition is still lying.
Good. Let's listen to the caller. Good to have you. How are you, buddy?
Okay, this is Clarence Derry. I'm calling from Chicago, Illinois.
Clarence Derry. You are, hold on 1 second. You one of the Liberal fans, right?
He's the doyen, he's the political doyen on the show. So I don't know why he is not on tonight.
Okay, my phone is down. You can't praise the Liberal on my show. Hey, look at this guy. I don't know. Yeah, you know the one I fell. You see, George, he's part of the Liberal. He telling him we'll call it near here, leave Liberal alone. Clarence coming at the insult or injury. He's a doyen. Go ahead. I forgive you. Let's hear.
Mr. So my paper we drawn to the issue of the economy. The economy issue. Many new party member, my member of new party. The Bible said, "Bring out the child in a way that the child will find." And whatsoever that I can remember when the devil appeared to preach, it's not close. And the devil
Well, in Lofa. So what you went there for?
I'm coming on. And the politician, you know,
does he know the position a Parliament takes in a person that you're talking about? Does he know?
He even know.
You can do it out of frustration.
Wow.
You can say that the president being the head of the country, you can work in the care, were abusing the wife of the former president. And you know about it, they don't say anything. We all were sharing for your care. People give them right here, what a voter for your care. Today they see the punky pan and put in the basket now. Don't tell me to take that punky pan from the basket. So if Yaka is expressing a frustration in a way that is condescending to the president, I think the other should be able to call Yaka to talk to Yaka.
We should you hear what Yaka said the other day about the Zobe, and you hear what he said, whoever you want me to tell council to call Yaka?
No, I'm not saying that there's what I'm trying to say here is that, Mr. So, we know the way Yaka is going is not the right way. We know the way Yaka is, talking to the president, used to the president, not the right way. If there's an issue that you have, that don't go down well with you, tell me, talk with the leadership of the party, talk with the leadership of the county, talk with the unit party, and get it to solve the problem. But Yaka fights now. He really he saw on the president. There was nobody he get from the unit party. He get the email call. Yaka to talk to Yaka. And today Yaka is still letting us agree today. The CDC that today Yaka is not that on brand yesterday. The CDC now, the CDC now are celebrating Yaka. And the second point I want to make concerning my Jabate. If the president didn't take action on my Jabate, I think that all opposition party they will use the story of my Jabate, and they will say the worst thing. Today, tomorrow, the police will not have a chance to go and get the rest and everything. So the minute the president fire my Jabate, that is not what we stand for.
You should fire him?
Let me fire my Jabate. They will fire him.
Okay.
Because he said that he's a Russia tree,
I totally agree with the caller.
100%. Then the police intervene. But why are you going to a man. I don't see it fair like that, Mr. So.
Okay.
Thank you for the show.
Thank you so much. You know, this Yeke thing from the ones I spoke, I don't know specifically. I have not listened myself, so I don't want to jump into something that I myself have not listened to. But if that happens to be the case, hopefully it's the authority, because yeah, you know they get a saying: "He who rides the back of the alligator goes into the belly of the alligator." Yeke behaviors from time to time. Why it is true, he has some logical point he tries to put through, but something is just not right. And the way he do it, and you know, when you're a politician now, you build a consensus, you solidify your political grade, get to other people who don't even agree with you. To because at the end of the day, when you talk, the legacy is what piece of legislation this guy put up.
Right.
This is what our people can do. So it's not just only being at opposition to government or you don't like the person, everything. No. Your no must be contingent upon a change that you want to effect. And the only way that change can come
is that a metric? Is that a metric we use in Liberia on how we re-elect people? Is by the amount of legislation that they have introduced?
Well, anyway.
Yeah. We got vote merchants, that people that told people to get president and go vote for it. Then talking about
it's just so the thing here is so it kind of get bullheaded. But I see this is what a politician wants to do. They want us to get sick and get tired with this thing that we can talk it and allow our country to go downhill. And this is why Dr. Jones and myself here, Esther.
I don't know what you mean about politician. Who the politician think you shouldn't talk?
Koto, you are a politician.
What benefit me? And what you saying make me
you went on state radio and the world heard you. Yeah, we Jones and myself. You just sent me a text that we got to fill off. I don't know what your sister your the form before you went on our radio.
No, I just it was a gentleman's agreement. I showed them my pro society mark and they accepted me in, so I was okay.
No, but Mr. So, don't forget. I don't want you to forget. We are not running a normal society in Africa and Liberia in particular. So all the next step we need to know. Black guy, we're waiting yet. They say we should get time, so we're
not waiting. I don't have no time.
No. You guys not.
The problem here is that we are not on the list of inclusion. Because there are many ways the inclusion coming in now.
They will not trust you. You were undermine the president agenda. Even though you are doctor, but you were undermine the president agenda. And what the people just said, that they can allow you over there.
There's a picture they show us. That Male, that Mr. So, and that Aziz Zawuro, y'all having the CDC bearer on your campaigning. People they get you all here busy. So
you see, to Reddit tell you that we're not running a normal society. Here a Yeka Koluba that buried the high-end image of CDC in the mud. The same CDC and Yeka Koluba now they're on the dancing feet. But normal society there.
No, but politics makes strange.
Mr. Mali, 100% agree with you tonight. 100%.
Is that normal? And if you see Koji standing by Yeka, he's seeing Yeka with he's seeing Yeka
standing with Yeka.
You see Yeka with cross eyes.
I want to see Miss Davis, Josephine Davis, where he says you are having bleaching cream factory and we are sitting next to you for that press conference. That would be the picture I want to see.
Just on a 6 months. On a 6 months.
On a serious note, right? On a serious note. I've been saying it on this platform, so I will say it because we have to be transparent. Yeka Koluba is my cousin. Okay? He's my cousin. My mom is buried on his father's farm. So having said that, I've said on this show over and over that the way Representative Yeka Koluba expresses himself, would I express myself that way? No, I wouldn't. But I said during the CDC administration, and I will say it today, that he's an elected official. As
Right.
long as he's not breaking the laws. Everybody got different way of doing their politics. In this country, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene. Remember, a few days ago, when the former director of the Secret Service was testifying at Congress, one of the representatives insulted her.
Oh yeah.
Straight out. And so for some of these people, that is their rare meat to their district. Yeke Koluba, for good or for bad, believe it or not, Yeke Koluba has understood that district number 10, in order, district number 10 has to be the opposition district every time.
I have property.
That is the only way he stays in power. So that is why you see this strange bedfellows thing happening. If I had an opportunity to talk to my cousin, I would say maybe you find a different way to explain, to express your dissatisfaction. However, it is within his purview. His political speech is protected, right? And so I don't know, when we decided that we're going to take the white man system of governance, we call it democracy, then everything that go, we got to take it, we got to forget about traditional power. So the man decided to call say, uncle, when they meet in the Zoo bush. The other thing that people have to understand is that when Yeke is talking Zoo issue or talking traditional issues, Yeke is a Koruba. If you don't know what that means, take your time, learn it before you speak on it. Because even if the traditional councils were to try to call a Koruba, which one of them has that authority? There's only one entity that can summon a Koruba, and that is not a traditional council. So that is why Yeke said that. It is steeped in tradition. So people just got to understand that. But look, Mike Jabate is a presidential appointee. The statement he made was callous. It was reckless. I think it was a way to show that I support the president. I will go to death for the president. And that is not necessary. I think we ought to retract that statement. I think there should be disciplinary actions taken. I think there should be, even if he's not terminated, he should be required to do some courses on the way you communicate when you are in your appointee.
No,
courses? You need to do what? Courses? No.
Yes. Let me just add one point to Sis's statement. Mike Jabate will not employ on the basis of credential. He will employ on the basis of proving to the opposition that Joseph Barker has a farm, and he went from farm to farm.
For inclusion.
How can you prove that?
So you are paving his way for inclusion.
That's gossip.
No, divine call me the wrong.
I said you are paying his way for inclusion, and trust me, His Excellency, he's not going to do anything about this.
I'm waiting to see. I need to listen to that.
He's not going to do nothing.
Aaron, let's hear you.
Can I come in?
Hey, Mr. So, how you guys doing?
Let the last caller finish, then we can wrap up. You make a comment. Yeah, go ahead, Aaron. Let's hear you.
Yeah. I just wanted to make a comment on my brother Sisi. I think Sisi has some issue with CDC. Sisi will not sit on the show a day without saying nothing about CDC. He always wants to take part of the CDC. But let me
what did Bar say today about CDC?
When Yeke call about who your cousin, who you claim to be your cousin today, who you can advise. When you use
say where you take the courses, LU.
Right, and all the other officials you are insulting, the former vice president, all of that. Did you say, oh, I wish my cousin, who is my cousin, will have a better way to,
yes, you went the time on the platform. Yes. Yes.
Did you ever say that on this show?
Yes. Yes.
I've been watching.
Yes. Plenty of time on the platform. Yes.
Let's. One day you spoke again.
Let him finish.
When you were saying those stuff, but today you got the audacity to come on the show and criticize CDC everything. CDC is not in power. Your party that you supported, your party aligned with the UP. They got people from your party that work in the UP government. So we understand. We know you will support UP. Don't come on the platform and try to act like you're an independent person. We know you're not independent. We know you're supporting the current government. So leave CDC alone. Leave CDC alone. Don't talk to if I were Yeke, if I were your cousin Yeke, I will tell you when you call my phone, I will tell you, don't talk to me now. So you didn't talk to me then.
So
what I wanted to say.
senior
Thank you,
player,
guys.
yeah, senior player. Aaron.
I'm listening to you.
Yeah. So who are the independent guys on this network? Any independent person on this network?
Well, I try to find out. Even you, who my big brother, Mr. So you're not independent anymore. Because sometimes you can be leaning one side. Mr. Male, by the time he want to talk, when the labor looks at him, he will see the view. And start
My senior player go in your red man. Leave me alone. Go. You better go on your own vacation.
I don't know who's the independent on that show.
I'm on vacation. You're taking the time to be calling on the show. Just don't call enough.
Everyone Chaklayo.
Wow.
Everyone Chaklayo.
Aaron, you put me in the hot frying pan the evening bar with good night. Bye-bye.
True. Sorry about that,
The problem with my senior player is he listens to respond, not to understand what I'm saying. Nothing I said that was bad about CDC today. Yeah, when the day already I was true, but I said nothing bad here about CDC. And everybody
that is transfer aggression. The man watching you, the man seeing you.
I know everybody on the platform.
You're trying to provoke Aaron, right?
Everybody on the platform has heard me talk about Yeke and the way he communicates over during election time. So my brother, senior player, I know you stay there. Post-election loss disorder is a thing you will deal with the trauma. We'll come back later on.
But on a serious note, I think Koto is saying wanted to make a point. Go quickly before.
I always listen to the seditions. They always say
seditious. Why? You guys are the governing party now. CDC shouldn't matter into this.
No, sometimes we have to make some corrections.
Why you be the show matter? They're leading opposition.
They just took power from them. So that anger is still there. You hear them saying the angry winner. So I don't know who's the angry one, then they are. But I come to this Yeke issue. Even people don't understand when they had this philosopher Machiavelli, when he talked about the ideology of Machiavelli. People look at politics as going to, physically kill somebody. No. Whatever you do to silence your opponent, that's the Machiavelli strategy you're using right there. So Yeke feels that that's the only way he can maintain power. You take that from Yeke. Yeke is not educationally potent. He has nothing to bring on the table. I see nothing he goes to discuss.
In the interest of fairness.
The way he addresses issue is that way.
But
and there are just some people who just believe that way of communication. They don't have the means of communicating the way Yeke communicates. So when Yeke is talking, they feel that Yeke is talking like them. So they support Yeke. But in the opposition, nobody can tell me that I ever supported Yeke the way he talks. No, I never one day supported Yeke. I always said the way the manner in which he talks issue, I never like it. I never like it during the CDC, and I will not like it this time.
Yeke's speech is protected.
I never like it.
This
but again, Yeke is part of society. You cannot ostracize him. We have to find a common ground as to how to handle the issue. You can't just go now and say you arresting Yeke or you put him, or what they haven't done to him in the house. They put Yeke out.
But why would you even arrest Yeke? What has he done that rises to that level?
Exactly. So you have to deal with him some way, some other way than to say you're doing it out of anger.
The other side of the world. This is their thought, and I believe. I don't know. I got to go back to all of the tapes. The thing is, Yeke were doing things, and you have now the sitting president. He has a strong ally, and there was some ridiculous thing. Yeke, from time to time, Yeke has been like that. The argument here, but because politicians, they want to be so correct, they want to be so careful, they don't want to lose votes. And this is what I said. Like politicians, they're never willing to take a risk, like the people like McCain then type and all of those. But they worry about their votes so much. With all these sort of hula bara thing drama Yeke was doing, things he was doing with the president. none of these people even had a guts to distance themselves, even just to blindfold. I remember the blindfold people. If you're calling, they say yeah, but you know, too here, you can't keep banana with him. Banana with him, you will go behind you, whether they rap or not, you will swallow it. So when you tell Yaka, say, my man, I want to do this thing here, but don't talk. You joking, you deny, he will bring you in the public. But these people did never even out of bravery politically to say.
CEO, I gotta leave you guys.
Yeah, I disagree with Yeke. I don't like it. It never happened. I think this is where people are talking. But I think we got to wrap up here. So you want to replace the liberal with this bottle business here too now?
No, I think the liberal borrowed a bottle from me.
Oh,
That's the better yellow bottle that I want to manage.
okay, guys. But on a serious note, when what I'm hearing with this, you know, that kind of funny people then that we have. I don't even know why. You know, Liberia too, that's some kind of country. The playbook is hard to finish. They think internal affairs, other countries' internal affairs, more or less the security of the country, the urban affair relies on the internal affairs. Yabate or Wabate, whatever. He's the assistant minister for administration, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He the one talking about he from Russia or where he coming from?
Yeah, you think in Russia and you will get rid of the man. I think you need to be fired, Mr. So this thing is not something to just put. That don't call for suspension. That's called for firing.
There are something that doesn't call for dismissal. You can just fire the man. The man you're diehard. It's more than dismissal. It's more than dismissal, Terry. You talking about taking someone's life?
Yeah, threatening. I agree with you, Mr. Mali.
You can sack him.
That call for investigation. Yeah.
You can sack him. He must say go and kill this person. But anyway, CEO, that's why I wanted to say before I leave. I show Sese and the liberal and the other people will disagree with me. But I think His Excellency President Joseph Baka.
Well, the liberal is picking for him.
No, the liberal is watching.
You guys are
liberal is watching.
The liberal is watching. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
He's
watching, and a lot of things that's called tonight, he will bring it by. You watch. What I want to say here is that I stand to be challenged and I will defend my ground. His Excellency President Joseph Baka, they all helped to make Yaka Koluba for who he is today. When Yaka Koluba was causing Jowiya and all his hurricane down there, he brought him in to help him run his campaign. He didn't tell him, say, oh man, the thing you doing as a statement, we don't do the thing in the kind of society. He never did it. So he helped this guy with the kind of behavior he having. But I said it on this platform once upon a time. I think Terry disagree with me. I said Joseph Baka, he's the father of the nation now. He's the elder of the state. To be very wise is sometimes to make yourself stupid. To me, Yaka Koluba has got a lot of problems, including psychological problems. Not psychological problem, trauma problem, because he fought the war. So as a father of the nation, the trauma people, they look for too many attention. Invite this, oh yeah. The trauma people, they let attention. So what the man could do now, what His Excellency could do as the father of the nation, swallow his pride, call Yaka Koluba, and ask him 3 questions. My son, we're running a society now, the white people, everybody come here to visit, or people going up and down here. What is the problem? Every time I see you up in the air. That tall like father and son.
The papa did that.
No.
He did that.
No. I'm reading the newspaper. So
but
what
he did
I'm saying, you are one of those who rejected the thing, Collins. So if he did that, why you didn't bring it on the platform? To
educate to the basket of deplorable, call it for you to be quiet, you do it.
But I think I think he went and the protocol. I think the protocol was too tough.
So to be frank with you, the trauma people, They look for so much attention, even when attention not necessary, they want to create it. So this man, that attention he wants, let the puppet give it to him. It will solve the problem here. Now, to conclude, to show you that without running a normal society, Henry Costa, who caused Dawia all those days, when he fell out with the puppet, they start dancing together again. Dawia start looking at him with cross eye. Is that normal society?
But what
politics, African politics.
No, let's forget about the politics. Is that a normal society?
Mitch McConnell here in the country, his wife was insulted by Donald Trump. He stayed indoors. Donald Trump went campaigning for the man, saying the best man. So he now in the country, politics makes strange bedfellows.
Okay.
But how many times does that happen in America?
Is that your argument? Is that your argument?
It's not rampant. It's not rampant as compared to
it has been elevated. Listen, you asked the question. It has been happening. It just got elevated more, but it has been happening a lot.
Let's forget about it. Let's forget about the society.
Because of the way in which Mr. Mark, the way.
I don't want to wear something on my ear. I don't want to wear muff on my ear. So I'm talking about.
Jerry,
I said that yeah. Uncle no need. You think
why are Bishop
Who the bishop are you talking about again?
The bishop senator?
The bishop senator?
The senator who was a bishop from who were praying or going to deliver people. He said the black Prince Johnson going, come on, you can't hear him talking again.
No, that puppet to be friend with you.
Prince Johnson is playing. Prince Johnson is playing his military card.
No, but
so just leave him alone. That man smart. That Prince Johnson man, I think he's stupid. That man is very smart.
Not smart. I got to realize that His Excellency President Boakai, that puppet is proving to me slowly and gradually that you're a radical president. I'm telling you.
But is it a man politician again?
No, he's not a politician. Look at the 285 machine. That man brought the way he brought it.
Before you enter,
but one thing that happening now.
We were passing through Guinea.
But one thing that happening now, I think it's getting serious. The information minister, he don't know whatsoever to throw him more. Now he attacking
that's something that we need to discuss, Mr. So the information minister is acting like a child.
That information minister
he's acting too incompetent.
He's not supposed to put more in that in there. In fact, the puppet that deacon, puppet will get.
That's something we need to discuss too, Mr. So.
I think you brought something in order. I say if I were Boyka, if I were providing counsel for Boyka, for a minister of information of a sitting government to say he won't be independent, you out of my government. You are all you out. You're not ready yet. Okay, guys.
I'll see you guys.
Thank you very much. So our man, Dr. Jones, will be among eminent to be honored this independence celebration here in the Ocean State of Rhode Island. Let me see, where is this here? You know, in the Liberian group, they get different group. The other one, they call it Liberian American Community of.
Is that radical? Is that independent radicals for better yala reopening?
Liberian American Community.
Capital punishment.
Yeah. The folks here they're going to be having a program. Then the Liberian Community Association we also hear, but it is. I mean, that's the beauty of the country. They say they're going to be honoring graduates of 2024, which of course is a voting recognitions of other community leaders, people who are robbing. I mean, that's the beauty of the society. You can sanction people as long as they have not committed any crime. Hey, and this is what we're lacking in our country. Today, you and myself talk. Yeah, disagree with it. I see you that put my face in the air. Just some kind of, I'm feeding you. You're not feeding me. I'm not feeding you. You know, until we can have that sort of tolerance and be able to sit around and get people honest view, that's the only way. You see, that's what happens in the country. Look at the decisions of President Joe Biden. How many of our political leaders, or how many political parties, able to look in the eyes of their leaders if they are unable to do certain job, go all calm down. People, the main able say, yeah, we'll address you, we'll make you to do it.
But Mr. So, you got to understand that Africa is not a democratic
So,
continent.
you know, yeah,
This democracy thing you're like, and we all like, we following, is an American culture. It is not that thing never worked in Africa.
It's actually European from the Greek city-states, but it came down from African, Asian African empires.
Yeah, I agree, but it's an American culture. It's an American culture now, according to our history. Our history, we agree, it came from Greece, civilization, blah blah blah. But America have used
So why
it
you
to
put blah 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 when I give you foundation? You put blah 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 to foundation.
I didn't say I didn't agree with your history. I'm telling you that personally is an American culture. You became a democratic country from America. You didn't become a democratic country from Greece.
So that's how people can own things. So if I bought traffic from somewhere, then I bring it to you, buy it from me. That means not from the original place. They get it from me now. At that point, where my money on it.
Oh, but if I bought a traffic from somewhere and I own it and sell it to you,
I bought a country club from Lofa County, and you bought it from me. That means that country club from Lofa County no more from me. So if I say no, that country club give me Lofa, you still know, not from Lofa because
it depends on how I bought it from Lofa.
It doesn't matter.
I can buy it from Lofa and put it in my brand.
So long the origin is from Lofa, the origin still traces back. It doesn't matter who propagated.
My brother, the democratic process and culture is an American culture.
And that's why I keep telling you, no, go by real history. No, that is not true.
I know that it came from Greece. Everything hail from somewhere. But America
is put the credit where you hail from. How you say hail from somewhere? You can't get put the credit.
I don't have to. We're not on argument here back and forth, my brother. I'm here to can't justify, oh yeah, did that. No, I don't need to do all that. I am telling you that it is an American culture that was given, that it came from here to go to Africa. It didn't come from Greece to go to Africa.
That is a different argument. Coming from here to go to Africa does not mean it's an American. Is an American thing.
Okay, guys.
You know, okay, you can choose your own way to express it.
The funny thing happened today, right? One of my co-workers were talking from one thing to another, the American politics, Africa, their own country, and he said, my brother, if you think say your own is bad, let me just tell you this: the Senate whip, right? You know,
you say America, not for America, it's for the Indians, because they took it from the red Indian. So America is not for America, it's for the red Indian, or for African American.
I would not argue that for African Americans when the Europeans were here before the African Americans.
But I was saying, so you say America is not for the Caucasian Americans.
Okay, so yeah, what I'm gonna do?
There are actual legislations that say that. Even in the state of Minnesota,
so then, who is America for?
Terry, we gotta go. So the guy, the guy said, he said this guy he's a Senate whip. There's something just happened in Nigeria. So, there are some people in party, no matter what, there are some people with both faces who like to tell people, and this is what African leader doesn't like. So, he went and told Tinubu, hey, things are moving right. There are some folks around you doing things and the masses are feeling the pain. And we who support you, at the end of the day, Nigeria, when they ready to go on strike and think that it can be crazy, we all will feel the pain. So he made a public declarations on state radio, this and that. Guess what? As soon as he said that, he left. The people that went in Chimo, man, they sent it with.
Oh yeah, I heard something about
they booted him out right away. So he said, my brother, if you think say your country by my country, Nigeria, they can, and he take time the next thing, they're gonna write a signature and throw him out of that place there. So I mean, this is insane. How can we have how can we have a changed society? By the way, guys, Mr. Goyat Collins, thank you so much for being here to Independence Day. We're going to see what the Independence bring. Going to be, I guess the president will be speaking. Let's see what the president. But if those things,
I think we got a lady as the national orator this year. So one doctor, I just forgetting her name right now. Just keep him.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to see.
We got a female speaking this year.
No, that's good. All right. We named.
Jabata need to be fired, Mr. So.
Yeah. All right.
Mike, come and go back cover for you. Just keep calling your name. Back cover.
That's easy. Me with cow at the end of the day, they're very young beyond Boyka game. You were going around. This is, I don't know. Okay, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Okay, folks, that does it this evening. To all our viewers and listeners, we want to thank you so much for your time this evening. Fatuman is not going away with this liberty. George has added to it. I don't know whether he's recruiting people, whatever it is, but trust me, Esther, myself, the very few will continue to stand up. If Jabate, the statement that I'm hearing, and I believe I have no reason, but I've not heard him for myself, so I'm not going to be too quick. I'm not going to be a reactionary to something that I'm not listening to. But if he made such a statement, I think it is unacceptable. Yeah, they should call him. Then he needs to be calling to talk to us. Well, where is he coming from? Is he alone coming up with that statement, or there are other people that having this sort of conversation, and he is the one that taking the lead to make this sort of this statement talking about taking the sitting lawmaker or life? Yeah, why it is true, Yeke. Yeah, but that's exactly Dr. Jones said. Yeke were doing these things, and people, older people that we think they facilitated his action, his behavior. So it is obvious what goes around comes around. That's exactly what is happening. That's exactly what is happening. So if you sit with Yeke yesterday, Yeke was insulting somebody, and you hail him and you cheer him up, trust me, you're going to fall apart, and of course, you're going to also feel the pain. What I'm not sure. So I'm gonna look for that. The last 2 days been having a hectic day, job related and other stuff. So I'm gonna look for that. But I will be listening honestly to the IG. You call Yeke and Yeke. Oh yeah, Yeke Pa, he grew up recording people. So that was a dumb thing on his part. You call somebody phone and just say those kind of, that people need to be held accountable for their childish behavior. You call somebody's cell phone, you call somebody's phone number, you tell them, you either insult them, I'm going to do this, you threaten them. What is that? What we want to say, happy independence in advance. So all of our people, to our viewer followers, if there's some other independence stuff going on out there, please share some pictures with us and we'll showcase them here. We want to thank you so much for your time. Again, if you are having a memorable time and to wait a minute, is that terrorists? No, somebody said CDC don't have people. I always send out this invitation here. Non-Dr. Professor Asisi Labozalo was a contributor on this network. He still is, except he's not showing all now. He's, people basic. And I was in like, bro, I went to their party headquarters and I met Malu. And I'm like, hey, and if these people follow us, can you send somebody? Zawo is no longer there. But, it is why it is. But if you think you're a supporter or sympathizer of the former ruling party, and you think you want to articulate the party's past agenda, and you think that was correct, come on, come here. Let's have a conversation. So, we have sent this invitation out. Anyone, so you don't have to be a part of a party, and anybody who willing to volunteer their time and services, just put it a thin skin to don't mind what the audience say, not that what they are saying. They have the right to say it. Just how we critique people, other people, they also have to critique us. They also have to tell us who they think we are and our views and our analysis, which is okay as long as it's not an insult. Somebody calling me sedition to UP's ANC. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not pouring no blood out of me. They have the right to say it. We call names. We call other people names. So equally, people have to call us name as well. We want to thank you so much. On the 10th of August, Mr. Emont Zaza Bablot, a former Providence School District mathematics instructor, retired. There will be a big honoring program right here in the Ocean State of Rhode Island. As usual, it's like Public Radio. Zaza Bablot is a former deputy managing director during the Samuel Doe administration at the National Port Authority for Operations. Zaza Bablot educator, a good writer. He will be honored. Liberia Public Radio is being invited and will be bringing you live coverage at the honoring program. It believes to be a carnival. We're going to be bringing that live program on the 10th of August. And this group calling itself a Liberian American community in the ocean state of Rhode Island will be hosting the July 26th coronation to board. They invite all Liberians. They're going to recognize, they're going to honor, they're going to appreciate and celebrate all of our 2024 Liberian American descent graduates in Rhode Island have submitted their names. So they sent this invitation out, I believe, some time ago. Come enjoy the Liberian cultural performance, national songs, presidential, the community mass choir, and minute entertainment. Will be having that. Keynote speaker will be Senator Jack Ray, a long-term senator on the Armed Forces Committee to U.S. Senate. And Senator Jack Ray is a good friend to Liberia, to the people of Liberia, strong advocate for Liberians. Whether you out in Rhode Island or outside, Senator Jack Ray will be there to speak to Liberia. And we will be there as well to bring you some of the happenings at Jefferson Boulevard Hall, right on Capitol Hill. Our own Dr. Jones will be one of the recipients honored, which is good. Everything, government free, nobody paying anything. There's going to be a free entry, free meal, free drink. So trust me, everybody going to be in there crazy. Nobody paying anything. But then the Liberian Community Association are understanding they're going to be having a coronation on for Friday, before Friday on July 26th day as well. So we're going to see what it looks like. I will be reaching out to them. So once to share those information, we will also put it out there. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening. Thank you for your time. Those of you that call in, those of you that tweet, we are always live on YouTube as well. Always leave your comments as to how we can enhance the capacity to improve our talking point, where we're falling short. Let us know. Send us an invite, message us, comments, and definitely we'll work on improving that. Until then, folks, have a pleasant evening. This is by Alice Noir. Hey, Mr. Kroban, good to have you here tonight. Esther, always thank you so much for your commitment. Of course, Fatima, no way that we can exclude you into this conversation. Your commitment to this network, and all of you will say thank you so much. All of this conversation is not personal, but it's for the good of the country, to strengthen our country, the democracy, and to have a sense of maturity in government and in society as well. So when you see you having this critical conversation, it's not personal, but for the good of the country, we believe it's healthy. Emmanuel, thank you so much. Emmanuel Marvelous, thank you so much for coming. Teddy Lion, Nyakon, man, from Fargo, North Dakota. Good to have you here. And our man, Breakable. I love Breakable because as soon as he leave from there, as soon as you call, you get headed straight. Went to about 8 milligrams ibuprofen so that you will be fine. Thank you so much, Breakable. It's always good to have you here on this network. We value all of you, Aaron, as well. My own boy, the Honorable P. Elijah Pay. Right there from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Elijah, thank you for tuning in with us here. Philip Ballard, good to have you here. Mr. Richard Ballard. Hey, Richmond, how you doing, my man? Honest Gillard, good to have you here. Rufus, thank you so much. Josephus, we are glad that you're here. Please make this network your home network every evening here. Don't hesitate to share your comments, your views, what you think about us. Joan, good to have you here as well. Always make your do not allow the liberal to intimidate you. So the liberal will always put the liberal in check. The liberal, he has his fan here that are protecting him. But trust me, with you and myself, we will dislodge them. We will allow people to speak their mind with civility and do what is right. Tamba, good to have you here. Mr. Wisigi, we are glad to have you here. Mariam Putut, thank you so much for coming. Be thankful to Edison. I know. All right, and our man Clarence Davies, good to be here. Bangora, thank you so much. Folks, every good thing must come to an end. So I want to thank you. We say happy Victor Yensi, Achi, Tapet. We say happy Independence Anniversary. We pray for our country, for good celebration. And I hopefully tell other people do what is right. Heavenly CC Empor, good evening. Thank you for being here. Kawiki, Sibi, and good name, Mawlot, Milbert Mawlot, SJ Johnson. Mr. Johnson, how you doing? Thank you so much your support to this network. We really appreciate it. Folks, on this note, here is 10:53 Eastern Standard Time. I'm Alfonso Z and Sword. Just in case you are a follower, you are fans of Liberia Public Radio, and you're having a monumental to memorable event, let us know what we can do to help to showcase it. Be a birthday, be an anniversary, be a convention, so wherever it is, in a big event, we say we don't want to be. We want to make sure and render your services so that you can give whatever you can offer. Let us know. If there's no way, we will figure out something. Until then, have a pleasant event. And by God's willing, the most liberal on this network and his guy, Jerry Barker, Clarence, Rovius George, Fatima, trust me, they're going to have their day here tomorrow. He texted me now that I will not participate. I never sanctioned him. I didn't stop him from coming. But that's what he's going to present to his guys tomorrow. But it is why it is. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.